Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Suzette Speaks in for a treat today. I am excited about the panelists we have today. I invited my lady lawyer friends to do some heavy lifting. If you guys don't know, I am a TV host and attorney streaming live right here on YouTube as well as on Facebook today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have some, like I said, lady lawyers who want to tackle a problem that I have seen throughout my life, being an attorney, being a professional, being someone who is seen as a powerful woman, a woman who knows what she wants, always focused on education, always looking to do her best and be her best. But sometimes we superwomen just like to relax. We like to kick it. We like to hang out too. We might have a sippy sip every now and then. And we just like to be women. We like to be feminine. We like to hang out with the girls and the guys and do our best to kind of just, walk through the world with all the hats we wear on. However, in recent times, I think we have seen a highlighting of some of the stereotypes, some of the misconceptions around really professional women. I don't know if you're a professional woman. I don't know if you're a professional man. I don't know if you consider yourself upper class, middle class, working class, whoever you are. Drop a comment. Let me know you're watching because we're going to talk a little bit about the pressures that professional women face in terms of the stereotypes society holds about them. Me, having to be one, having to live a life where I sometimes, as an attorney, gain the perceptions of being very tough, being very, which I say, masculine, sometimes being called, difficult. Having, emotions is seen as being, something that is manipulative, not something that is natural to you. I've seen it in the workplace. I've seen it in political circles. I've seen it in romantic relationships. And I just wanted to take some time out because y'all know it is Black History Month to talk to my fellow lady lawyers and ask them, have you ever been really the recipient of stereotypes that are so not true? And if so, why do you think people hold these stereotypes about professional women, particularly Black women? Do you think there's something about us? Do you think that there's the media pressure? Do you think people automatically assume they know what we are, know what we're about, know how we're going to carry ourselves, know what our quote temperament, can I say attitude? Y'all use the word attitude. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But there are so many parts of us that oftentimes get mislabeled, oftentimes have us feeling inaccurately depicted. Sometimes we feel as if there are parts of us that are, we're hidden from the general public. There's so many parts of this question. What are the stereotypes that hurt professional Black women? Why do they exist? And how can we go about dispelling them? And will we be allowed the room to show who we truly are? Y'all drop a comment. Let me know you're watching. I see you in the chat. Welcome, welcome. I tried to go live on Facebook. I know my Facebook feed is not connected at this moment because we're running a little bit late. But guess what? We're here to have a good discussion. Like I said, I have two fabulous lady lawyers joining me. They happen to host their own podcast here on YouTube as well. The link is in the description. Y'all check them out. LearnBiz Podcast is in full effect. I'm going to let them tell you about it. But they have so much more to offer. Yes, they are attorneys. Yes, they do estate planning. And the other one does real estate. And they're real estate advisors. And they help people make money and help people, navigate the legal system. But at the end of the day, I'd like to tell you, I feel like I'm still just a woman walking through the world, trying to figure out who she is and what she wants out of life. And unfortunately, we're not always given that leeway. Can somebody please drop a comment? Let me know if you understand what we're talking about, the stereotypes and misconceptions that hurt African American women, particularly women professionals. And why do you think they exist? And if they do hold some truth, what about those of us who it doesn't apply to? Do we have the ability to say, wait a minute, that ain't all of us. Wait a minute, that's just a couple people, or a subset, or not even a subset. Individually speaking, there are different people that have different temperaments. And do we all get placed in one solid box, whether it's at work, whether it's in our community, whether it's in our romantic relationships. Drop a comment if you know what I'm talking about. Again, Suzette Speaks here, getting ready to bring up Miss Lisa K Crawford and Miss Sandy, and I want to say it's B, and I always want to say the last name, Boisrond. I hope I'm saying it right. I love her name, French name. She grew up in Boston, or born in Boston, grew up in Miami. Lisa's also accomplished real estate attorney, but I brought some heavy hitters today to help us comb through the current status of Black women professionals and the stereotypes, unfortunately, that are attached to them. Y'all drop a comment. Let me know that you're watching. Let me check with the chat. Again, if you're watching, hit the like button. You know what to do. This is Suzette Speaks live today, having a conversation for the ladies. Gentlemen, you are more than welcome to chime in, but I brought, again, two lady lawyers, dynamic lady lawyers, to join me to get a little heavy lifting done when it comes to how we are perceived in this world. We know how we're depicted in movies. Hello, somebody. We know how we're depicted in politics, I think. That there's a groupthink among Black women professionals. I think there is a stereotype as well that I'm seeing right here on YouTube when it comes to, how do we feel about our men? Do we love our men? Do we respect our men? Come on, somebody. I'm here to actually expose what actual Black women professionals have to say. It's enough when you hear others talking about you, but it's a beautiful thing when you can express your own feelings, express your own sentiment, talk about how you really feel and what you've really experienced. So we're taking it down the Black History Month road today. I hope you guys are in, a great mood. Welcome, whether you're watching over here in the States, my folks over in Europe. I know I got folks in the Caribbean watching as well. Drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. And like I said, I'm going to bring up my guests momentarily, but I got to get y'all warmed up in the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see you, RM. I see you, Veggie. I see you, Kimo. C was first today. Thank you for watching. RM is always ready and willing to get in my chat and keep me straight. Thank you for being such a fantastic moderator. Thank you very much for being here. Veggie in the building. Thank you so much for tuning in. I see you. DL Saint. He forwarded me a couple great, very interesting Instagram posts. Thank you so much, DL Saint. He was on our panel last time on our conversation, Is God Still Important? Thank you for being here, for being a fantastic supporter. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you very much. J Bones. I know I can count on you, my brother, always in the building as well. I tried to put up my little flowers. My flower fell down. I got another one. Y'all like the hibiscus? I'm going to put my hibiscus up, though. I'm going to put it up, though, because I got to get the full decor for the new background. And I love the flowers in my greenery. So I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Suzette Speaks here, TV host and attorney and YouTuber, here with a few friends, here with some lady lawyers to talk about this oftentimes taboo subject, the stereotypes, the misconceptions often attributed to professional Black women. We're going to talk about it today. I see you in the chat. Welcome. Facts and the Uncomfortable Truth with Bernard S., my Patreon member. I see you. I hear you. Misconceptions. What misconceptions, Michael? Well, we're going to talk about a few. He like, what? Listen. Why can't we do it all? Why can't we do family as well as professional? Why is it seen that we only want the professional side? We don't want the relationship side. Anybody tell you that? Anybody? Or do you, maybe any of you feel that way? Oh my goodness. We're going to talk about it today. Hey, Sunbreeze, welcome all the way from the Bay Area, California in the building. I see you, Urban Lady. Welcome. How are you? Thanks for being here. Drop a comment, hit the like button. I see you, Randy Kleindists. Nice to see you. Welcome to the chat. Y'all let me know where y'all watching from. We getting the wall set up. You know how I go. But I was watching the time, and my poor guests were like, "You good?" I'm like, "Yes." I'm always running, finishing up one thing, jumping into the next. But I love the conversations that we have here. I see you, Invisible Car. My sister-in-law is beautiful and has a PhD, says Invisible Car, but she hasn't given enough time to find a husband. Oh man, y'all really think this is okay? We're gonna talk about it. And now she can't find someone within her age 30. that she can connect with. No time for day. Oh my goodness, y'all. This is here we go. Thank you, Invisible Card, with the perfect setup, because we got a lot to say about this. And trust me, I have two lady lawyers ready and willing, to use themselves and some of their personal experiences in this conversation, because I think there's a lot of what people think they know about us, but we know about what we live. We know about what we experience and how people sometimes misperceive us. So we're going to get the conversation started. I see you, Rickster. Good afternoon from NYC. Big up all my New Yorkers watching. XDMC. Oh, you back? Hey, nice to see you. One love to the chat. Okay. Here go, Michael. You are my baby, though. I'm just joking with you, unless you go. What? Okay. Listen, we got some heavy hitters here, some experienced attorneys who are open. Like I said, they have their own channel, which is why I invited them there. I've seen a lot of their work on YouTube. It's called the LearnBiz Podcast. If you wouldn't mind, please, RM, drop their link so people could go over and follow and support. Y'all saw the actual flyer, but I'm excited. I'm excited because there are women who have walked down this road with me, in experiencing, life through the lens of others who sometimes misjudge you, who sometimes misinterpret who you are, who sometimes attribute characteristics to you that could not be further from the truth. So are y'all ready for the conversation? I see you. Welcome, Jenny Morena. Salute to you, my darling. Hope you had a great Valentine's Day. I was by myself. Ain't no boo in the hey. Cook myself dinner. Hey. Enjoy my little Valentine's, little pamper. Okay. Thank you. But whatever you did with your Valentine's Day, I hope you guys had a fantastic one. Again, we have an interesting conversation. Wanted to mix it up a little, bring the ladies on, try to receive as well as give some of my personal experiences with this topic, which I think sometimes can be very rough to discuss. It can be very sensitive for some of us because we've lived it. We've lived in a space walking through the world where Black women, all of a sudden, I wouldn't even say all of a sudden, let me just stop. From the inception of our country, have had so much attached to them in terms of who they are, their persona, what they must be like. And it's always seemingly to fall in these tropes, these stereotypes, the sapphire, the Jezebel, now the professional woman who only wants her career, no family for her. She doesn't respect men. She wants to compete with men. Oh my gosh, if I hear that another time. I've heard it all. I've heard so much since joining YouTube. Seriously, probably about 2.5 months now, almost 3. But no matter what, I try to keep my head up and stay true to who I am, not trying to ingest a lot of what others have to say. But sometimes it's difficult because what? You go to a workplace, you go to a church, you go to social events, right? You date people. So when they too carry some of these perceptions, even your own, carry some of these perceptions, where does that leave you? Come on, somebody. Let me see you guys in the chat. Get busy. Hit that like button. Let me see. Michael saying cook him dinner. All right, Michael. I'll see what I can do. Keep on saying PhD. Can she cook clean? Is she ready to submit to a man? We going there already, Chemo? Okay, we ready for that though? Uh-oh. With the submit. Okay, uh-oh. All righty. Keep it warm in the chat. I see you. RM says, we're your Valentine. Oh, thank you very much. Chemo gotta keep the block hot. I already know. He's coming in with fire. Urban Lady says, my ex always expected to leave him for a suit and tie. Wow. At my Wall Street law firm. Wow. That didn't happen. Okay. I fell for my brother's friend who works at Amazon. Cool. And we're on year 50. See? Is it my insecurity or yours? Oh boy, come on, let's go. Let's see. Jets Nitram says, professional Black women need to stop leading with their degrees. Is that so? Your opinion? Okay. I don't want a clever conversations. Uh-oh. Just the Way You Are by Billy Joel. Okay, thanks, Jets. Appreciate you being in the conversation. Hey, we want to hear what you have to say. Invisible card talking about yes. Okay, we'll get off his sister-in-law. She can cook it clean. Not sure about submitting though. Chemo has tried as much as she could. What have mercy. Already. Let's go. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna bring my guests up because we gotta learn who they are first, and then we're gonna get a little bit into the topic. So without further ado, let me read a little bio here. I got a couple of bios so you guys know who we bring on the show and know what they're about, a little bit about them. And I'm going to start with Lisa. So our first guest today, again, these are co-hosts of the LearnBiz podcast. Their link to their YouTube channel, LearnBiz LLC, is in the description. So first and foremost, I want to welcome Lisa K Crawford. She's a luxury property specialist in Florida. She works for a South Florida brokerage called Amazing SoFlo Properties, located in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, close to the beach. Yeah. Amazing SoFlo wants all their clients to have an amazing real estate experience. Lisa also has a background in law, having worked for a long time in areas of probate, administration, and estate planning. Did not know that. Lisa is a proud co-owner of LearnBiz LLC, an entrepreneur coaching agency. So y'all, they do coaching as well. Okay. Coaching agency along with her business partner, who you will meet shortly, Sandy. Their business offers business coaching and training to entrepreneurs. They also have a podcast on YouTube, which I just told you about, LearnBiz the podcast, where they feature Black entrepreneurs in business who provide peer-to-peer education and insight. So without further ado, let me bring up my sister, Miss Lisa K Crawford. Y'all make her feel welcome. Hey, Lisa. How are you? Okay, I'm not hearing you. Let me see if we got your volume up. Turn my volume down. I'm gonna mute you. Turn me down, and then let me see if I can hear you. Are your headphones plugged in? You know how it goes. We always have a little. Go ahead. Let me hear you. No, I can't hear you now. Oh, geez, Louise. You might have to take out the headphones. And welcome, Lisa. They're saying in the chat, it's all good. We'll sort it out. I'm feedback from you because. Oh no, I can't hear you at all, even without the headphones. So what you might have to do is log out and log in. And we'll take care of that. In the meantime, don't worry about it since it happens. This is live. This is how we go. But she's here. She's in the building. Like I said, we're gonna warm y'all up. Welcome, Lisa. They're saying, don't worry, Lisa. Do a log out and a log back in. I'm sure we'll be fine. That's my bad because I should have tested it with you. Struggle streaming already, as TLA would say. All right. So my next guest, who is the second half of the LearnBiz the podcast duo, is Miss Sandy Boisrond. And let me read a little bit about her so you guys will know who she is. Another dynamic lady from South Florida. And here is a little bit about Sandy. So Sandy is an auntie, attorney, and an advocate, born in Boston, like I said, and raised in Miami. Born to Haitian parents, Sandy speaks Haitian Creole and often provides services and support to the Haitian American community. She is super involved auntie, to an autistic teenager, and has become an advocate for families who have autistic children by providing resources and educational information to support their needs. Sandy is the co-founder of Spectrum Law Firm Miami, and her primary practice area is estate planning, guardianship, and probate. Sandy, like I told you, is the co-host of the LearnBiz the podcast, a YouTube channel, as we described, that highlights experiences from Black entrepreneurs, and the co-author of Civility Wins series. Wow, I didn't know that, which is a book that will drop pretty soon. Okay. Prior to practicing law, Sandy was an educator in the public school system and served as a community liaison and program coordinator for a nonprofit organization. Her background, as y'all can see, I'm reading her bio, her background in the community outreach, public education, and legal services allow her to provide essential information in the community to provide legacy building and promote generational wealth. I'm going to drop, actually, let me just, Lord God, I didn't put your Spectrum Law Firm. I'm gonna drop it in the chat here. In her spare time, Sandy enjoys spending time with her loved ones, trips to the beach, yes, listening to podcasts, and is an amateur photographer. Okay, a photographer. Sorry, excuse me for my reading is fundamental. So welcome, Miss. Go ahead and unmute you. You can unmute yourself, beautiful. And we're gonna bring her up, Sandy.
Hi everybody.
Yay, we can hear you. How you
I'm
doing?
doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you so much, Suzette, for the opportunity.
Fantastic. So I'm going to bring up Lisa as well. Let me see if we can hear her. Hi, Lisa.
Can you hear me?
Yay, we're all set. Yay. Love it, love it, love
Hi,
it.
Suzette. Hi,
How you
Sandy.
Hey,
doing?
Lisa.
Fantastic. Yeah, they talk about we've got a winner. Yes, we're all here. Three fantastic lady lawyers here to talk about some of the misconceptions we have experienced as Black professional women. So again, Black History Month edition. Y'all ready? Hit the like button as you come in. Who wants to start? Because I had done a little pre-conversation with the ladies on Super Bowl Sunday. We chatted up a little bit and just talked about our experiences, which was so organic. So I want us to just flow. Keep an open mind, guys. And again, I would love to hear your feedback, and we'll drop the link a little bit later so that you guys can come up if you'd like to offer your feedback on what we're talking about. So, should I start with the angry Black woman? Should I start with the pit bull in the skirt? What should I start with, ladies? Because as lawyers, especially as attorneys, here we go. The legal eagle says RM. Good vibes says Breeze, and welcome Sandy and Lisa. Claps, claps, claps from Urban Lady. Thumbs up from Chemo. Yeah, okay. So I
Hey,
don't know. I don't know where we want to
Suzette.
start. I just want to.
Suzette, I would suggest you start with the angry Black woman. That's been a stereotype that's abounded for a long time now. So let's just get that out the way.
All right, so we're gonna do first things first here. As y'all can see, they are the LearnBiz, the podcast channel, right? So again, they bring Black entrepreneurs on their podcast to talk a little bit about their journeys and to help others and inspire others with how to become successful entrepreneurs. And they also coach people, hello, and allow folks to use them as resources so that we can build wealth. That's what we're all about. Okay, so intros are done. Welcome to the channel. Y'all hold on now. What y'all talking about? Angry, loud, and masculine. Loud. God. Well, like I said, it is a known, should I say, fact that in our culture there has been this pervasive. What words do I want to use, Lord? Because I gotta be very careful how I say this. And I'm gonna say stereotypical and hurtful trope about Black women called the angry Black woman, and it has origins in a lot of different places. I think, especially coming through the journey that many African Americans came through, coming through the slavery narrative. I think in order to keep Black women subjugated and seem as less feminine, so that they wouldn't, what should I say, be deemed as worthy of the loves and affections of particularly white men coming, we're talking about through the 1800s, 1900s. We were often marginalized and kind of kept in a category that diminished our femininity. And although, we have seen much progress in the last 50 years, this trope about being angry, being so-called masculine, has lived on. And oftentimes when we're on social media, I'm not gonna lie, you see, y'all hit the like button as you come in. You see the worst version of Black womanhood used to symbolize all of us, right? We've seen the girl at the fast food restaurant fighting. Okay, we've seen that. That is a real person that did that. But unfortunately, with such limited um, representatives in the media, it is hard to escape those stereotypes because people only see, some people don't even know Black persons in their life, in their real life. Some people don't live close to Black people. And, it's hard to think because we're in South Florida, we happen to be in a metro area. But across the country, there are a lot of folks that don't live around and have never really interacted in any meaningful way with Black persons. So where do they get sometimes these depictions of us? Well, of course, in the media and now social media. So you'll see, like I said, the bad behaving, oh my goodness, fighting Black women, it goes viral. It's easy to believe that that's how most Black women are. But I'm here to tell you, and my guests, well, sure, I don't want to speak for them, will tell you that's not us. That's not us. But ladies, how would you like to talk about how you may have experienced this? Have you ever been called angry? Have people come up to you and be like, "Why are you so angry?" You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about work. I'm talking about personal relationships. However you want to start it. But I know I've been called angry, and it was used by a white woman in a law firm to diminish what I was saying. Like, even though I was trying to make a point, which was a valid point about how we were going to strategize and handle a particular case, members like, don't be angry. I was like, yeah, sis, you want to take it there. But it is used kind of almost as an epithet, a kind of sleight of hand that is supposed to put you back in your place and let people know I can't trust what she has to say. This is emotionalism. This is unprofessionalism. This is a woman who is not a thinker. This is a woman who operates, from a place that, can not be trusted is really what it was an indicator of. And I can talk about how I checked her a little bit, but oftentimes you get caught flat-footed. It gets to a point where you're like, whoa, I thought we were cool. What did you say?
Wait, I want to hear how you checked her.
Yeah, no, so I can go there. So yeah, I remember it being in a actually this was not even like a heavy issue, but I just remember it being like I was so annoyed because I could see, and she was less experienced than me, how quickly we could, dispose of the issue, file whatever, I don't remember what it was, pleading, file something in the case. And she wanted to be seen. She wanted to kind of like one up me. And because she was a younger attorney, I knew, in fact, she was trying to like, who do you think is the weakest in the room? But I wanted to say, sis, not today. But I was kind of like, I looked at her. I think all the other people, including my white colleagues, looked at me like, don't do it, Sue. Don't go there. But I think at the time I just briefly was like, excuse me, I really think you should refrain from, putting words in my mouth. I said something to that extent. I didn't I'm not a popper offer. That's just not me. And plus we were at work. But I checked her slightly and kind of back off a little bit. Please do not frame what I just said as me being emotional, because it's actually what's best for the client. And then I rephrased, but I it was almost like a pin drop because everybody else at the table was looking like, is she gonna go there? But I gathered myself. I knew what it was. I knew it was a poke, and I already had seen how she moved in the office. But I use it as a moment to kind of just like press stop. Don't cross this line. Set a boundary, address it slightly, and then keep going with what I was saying. But yeah, it surprised me. It was earlier on. I would probably say that happened to me maybe like 8 years or more than 6 years ago. So, but yeah, I remember how even if it was like at the beginning of my legal career, I would have been shocked. I wouldn't have known what to say. I would have been like, I would have eaten my words. I've had another lady who told me, and this woman really does look like Reese Witherspoon, a white colleague, female, and her face is heart-shaped. I swear she looks like Reese Witherspoon. And I remember saying to her at an attorney brunch, and I was like, God, Lee, you favor Reese Witherspoon. And she said out loud, she was like, come on, Suzette, all white people don't look alike. Oh. And I was like, oh, sis.
See.
Sis, you don't want to do this right now. But it is almost like just to marginalize you, just to kind of challenge you in a way to make you seem as if you're other. You're not like us. You have a different experience. You can't assess the same things the way I assess it. That's how I took it. But I remember that one. I talked to my friends afterwards because I was like, oh my God, I couldn't check. I felt like I'm like, no, I don't. No, you really do, because she really does look like Reese Witherspoon. To this day, I see her in circles, and I'm always like, I know she's from South Carolina. I've learned more about her, but I was kind of like, I don't want to put a whole state on the map because of what this woman did. But it does beg the question. And in your mind, you're like, wow, you wanted to check me. You wanted to say, your opinion is less valid than mine. So I've had it happen a few times. How about you, ladies? Who wants to start with that?
Sandy? I'll go, since I have a good one. I used to have an afro. I used to wear an afro. And so I walked into court, and this particular county, it was kind of like Mayberry, right? And so they weren't used to seeing lawyers like me, with our hue and complexion. And so I walked in there, I had my afro, and you guys hear the way I speak. I'm very jovial, upbeat. But before I opened my mouth, I mean, those folks were on guard. I mean, they must have thought I was going to say something extremely radical, because they were they just gave me a look that just let me know that they were sizing me up fiercely. And so I commenced to say, "Good morning. How are you? My name is Lisa Crawford." And you could just see all the pressure just melt. So we are victims of stereotypes all the time. And I have been in situations where I felt that certain persons were pushing buttons, trying to get a certain reaction, trying to see if I would go off or maintain my professionalism. And in cases like that, I've learned to use reverse psychology. But we're tried all the time, Suzette and Sandy. You ladies know that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think there is sometimes a painting in the corner that people want to do to us in terms of like, I'm going to say something just so I can elicit the type of reaction that I think she must naturally give. And I think when you, like you said, when you use reverse psychology, or you don't necessarily play into that, and again, you're not pretending, you are who you are. And they are so very unused to that it's almost like they want to push the envelope just to see if you were going to fit the bill, if you were going to act up, if you will, let's see, and show your behind, as we say. How about you, Sandy? Have you ever been portrayed as or being called the angry Black woman?
I've gotten all kinds of stuff. I mean, between being told that I talk like some kind of white girl to being told that I'm speaking too aggressively because, I was a classroom teacher for many years. So my tone of voice can tend to be a little bit loud at times. And so, sometimes when I'm speaking, I do have a little bit of a presence of voice, but it's just because I'm trying to be clear and making sure everybody hears me. But not everyone can receive that well enough. And the sad part is, Lisa and I both are not those types of people that are walking to a room and we're not greeting people or anything like that. Instead, we're kind of like, hey, how's everybody doing? We're coming in. And most of the time we get some of this like cold shoulder type behavior. And I mean, just to touch on the like the relationship front, it's the same kind of thing. As soon as someone hears that I'm an attorney, it's like, oh, you're one of those. And I'm just thinking to myself, what does that really mean? Because it's almost like we're making the exception the rule instead of allowing us as Black women to be. It's already assumed that I'm going to have a certain reaction. And it's so funny because in dating situations, many times guys would, look at me and expect me to react a certain way. And when I don't react, it's kind of like, oh, so you're not one of those. And I'm just like, what does that mean exactly? Like, why is there a blanket thing already put on me? It's like a cloak put on me already, and I haven't said anything or done anything yet. So, I think unfortunately we are the victims of, as I said, the exception has become the rule. And so we, as the folks that I would consider the norm, we're not even getting a fair shake. We're just being basically stamped, and it's just what it is, and we don't even get an opportunity to be who we are.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like really disheartening because I never really get a chance. And then add insult to injury, I got locks. So when I walk up, there's already a bunch of us, my hair must smell a certain way, or, I must smoke weed, or, I must have an attitude or something else. And I'm just looking like, no, I'm Sandy.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Give me an opportunity to show you who I am before you make that assumption. So it's just a lot of things, and it's really unfortunate.
Yeah, and let me go to the chat. Hermes Addict says, welcome. I can relate to this topic. I must say, I am glad I have been working remotely, mostly in the South, although there are microaggressions in the North too. So that's your experience, and thank you for sharing it. Yes, there has been a lot made, a lot of news made about Black people gravitating towards remote work, and I'm so glad for it, honestly, with the law, because they're saying that many have voiced this same sentiment as Hermes addict. I don't want to be at work because people at work treat me kind of, sometimes badly, poorly. Microaggressions, if you don't know what that means, say things as we've been talking about, kind of in a passive way, but that are meant to marginalize and to hurt and to diminish what I would say is just your humanity, your personhood. Again, you're
Right.
different. You're not quite a lawyer. You're not quite belonging in this office. And I want to make sure I'm also stating that's not everybody. And we're not saying everyone across the South or everyone across the North. We can't make any of these generalizations.
Right.
However, as her experience states, there are many who are thinking, hey, I want to work from home because I don't want the foolishness. I don't have time for the parts of me that I love and protect and build up to be torn down by a supervisor or somebody who was trying to act up, So we've experienced these things. I thank you. Or Ms. Addict says, I gotta go. I'm doing check-in. No, you can listen, sis. I know sometimes you'll be at work and stuff. I know it's that time of day, but yes, it has been great working from home. I do not want to go back to office. I see you. She said, gotta go. We're just running a systems and I'll check in. Great topic. Thank you. All right, let's see what Kareen says, yes, it's been working. It's been great working from home. I do not want to go back to the office. Yes. Says, I am so happy this topic is being covered by professionals. Hey, we exist, man. And we are not here to, I didn't want this to be kind of like a classism kind of discussion, because I do think, there are people from all across the economic spectrum that have good manners, that are raised well, who, enter a room and know how to conduct oneself professionally. I do think, however, there's so much room and space and time on the internet and in media given to those who are in the margins, really, who are, going to conduct themselves in a, I don't say less than appealing way, but unfortunately we get lumped into it. And oftentimes, we're not, I think, given the space or given the opportunity to just be who we are naturally. And we are oftentimes targeted as a stereotype as opposed to just a human. So let's talk a little bit about, I'm gonna pivot a little bit when it comes to some of the stereotypes I've heard, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. Now, I've heard these that are like what I'm gonna mention, the differentiation between professional life and home life. Now, one of the things I've heard a lot on the YouTube sphere, YouTube verse, is that professional women can't take off the cape, can't take off the professional exterior when they are in a relationship, particularly when they're living with someone or married with someone. What do you guys say to that? I've heard it a lot, that you want to be the man, you want to wear the pants. You don't want to be the woman when it comes to the relationship. You want to run my house. I ain't running my house. Like, I hear this and I'm like, geez Louise, how far we've strayed. But again, every Tyler Perry movie, the professional woman is trying to figure out her life outside of the man. So tell us a little bit about your experiences, ladies, when it comes to this stereotype of professional women don't leave the professional persona at work and bring it into their personal lives. What do you have to say about that?
Oh my God. It brings up a lot of memories. Like, I remember one with my ex-husband when he used to say, look, there's only one judge in this courtroom. I'm like, oh my goodness. You see, I wasn't talking about work. It could have been any topic, but he relates it back to something
you being a lawyer
that he related to as being like something powerful, having great esteem, control, being a lawyer. But so we get hit up with things like that as professional Black women when we're really just being ourselves and who we are. We get accused of keeping on our career hats and, like we're just trying to run everything. But I don't think we should get beat up for things like that, because Black women have always had to be strong. I mean, don't hate us for being strong. I mean, that's our ancestry DNA. We've always had to step up and take control a lot of times, and we can talk about all the whys, but we're who we are. And we just want the men in our lives to love us for who we are and value us for that strength and not be intimidated by it.
Okay, gotcha, sis. What would you add, Sandy?
So, this is an interesting topic because I recognize that people want to lump us as Black women professionals into this category without analyzing circumstance, right? When I think about my personal situation, one of the things that I've had to learn how to balance is an understanding of it's all about how you say things and how you communicate. Communication is essential, right? We have to be able to exchange ideas and information in a way that both of us are on the same page. Where I think I've had difficulty is being able to understand language and the way that it's interpreted, because we work in this realm of words matter. Every single word matters, and sometimes it's kind of like semantics, going back and forth over things that really don't matter. So what I've learned to do myself is understand that we just need to be on the same accord and learn how to communicate with each other with some softness and compassion, because language can come off sharp, but that doesn't mean that I am not being who I am. I've always been outspoken. I've always been this person that my parents raised me to have a voice and to share information and to just be outgoing and really kind of like a take charge kind of person. That doesn't mean that I don't want someone else to step in and support me and love me and care about me. And at the same token, there's a way to react to my behaviors, right? So if I'm doing something and you feel like I'm lawyering, that's one of the things that I get. I'm lawyering, it's fine. The tone of voice makes a difference. Hey, I know that you had a rough day at work. Let's take it down a notch. Let's relax and let's do what we need to do versus, oh, don't start lawyering me now. This is not a courtroom, or those kinds of things. So I think sometimes men and women have to learn to be soft with each other and have a sense of compassion, because I don't want to wear anybody's pants. In fact, I stopped wearing pants regularly a long time ago. I wear skirts and dresses primarily because I had a guy friend of mine years ago that used to say, you need to girl it up. Uh-oh. I know you like the little tomboy, because sometimes we get into a mode and we always want to be a certain way, but we have to know that there's kind of different ways that we can approach our relationships. And, our guys want to see us in some, nice little things sometimes. I'm not saying you have to be girly all the time, but, I think that there are some things mutually that men and women can do for each other, and it shouldn't be like an attack on each other. And I think that's where it's gone wrong for us as Black women. Instead of us getting love and compassion, it's like it's an attack. And so we're at odds against each other instead of saying, you know what, I really like when you wear such and such. I really like when you come home and we just unwind together a little bit, and then we can talk a little bit later about work. There are different ways that we can approach it. So it's a communication, it's a compassion, and it's a partnership versus we're adversaries in a courtroom.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I see some pushback in the comments. We're going to read them, y'all. We're going to read them. It's all good. I want to welcome you. Let me do a quick reset. This is the Suzette Speaks show right here live on YouTube. If you're watching the replay, hit the like button. Glad you guys can join. We are in for a good conversation. We've already started. Welcome as you come in, hit the like. But we're talking about stereotypes that hurt professional Black women. I have special guests with me, Miss Sandy and Miss Lisa, who are the co-hosts of the LearnBiz, the podcast show right here on YouTube. So please, moderators, drop their page so that you guys can go over and support. But they were just addressing the question I asked about whether professional women can leave the professional persona at work and come home and just be all woman. That's what y'all say, all woman, when they step through that door. And we're all saying, yes, we can. We all say, and I can agree with the ladies, I am a leader for sure, but I know when to follow. And I don't want to come home and argue, although I may disagree with you on certain things. But I think there is pushback, especially when we are attorneys, to make that seem as if we are being difficult, or if we are not wanting to follow, or we want to be in charge. Yes, I'm going to wear my dresses. Yes, I love a maxi dress. A wrap dress fits me well. I got tons of them. You know what I'm saying? We keep the hair did. We keep a little lipstick on. Why not? because this is who we are, right? So the femininity is there, guys. And again, my special guests are from the I want to say the LearnBiz, the podcast. And we're here, and I'm going to read some of the comments because I see the gentleman active in the chat. I see him active. I love you too, Hank Deasy. If no one else tells you, I want you to know I'm proud of you, and I love you all, Black women. I see you. Thank you so much. Like Sunbury says, hit the like button. Mike Miller, you said put up your comment, but I didn't see which comment you were referring to. Kimo is telling me it's a fact, though, that professional women cannot. Oh, Jesus, not the facts. We lawyers, we deal in the facts.
Wow.
But he just said it's a fact. Ooh, my friend.
No
That
comment.
professional women cannot. He talking about all of us. Just bake the whole cake. All of
just put us in a basket.
Ooh,
we have no
my
chance.
heart
there.
hurts. My heart hurts, my darling. And then same thing, Doug adds, that's not a stereotype. There's some no, I'm not going to argue with you, Doug. There's some truth to it for some women. I've seen it. Definitely. Not majority, but I've seen it where I'm like, oh, sis got to take the foot off the gas a little bit when she comes through the door. I've seen it. I'm not saying it's all one size fits all, but the fact that it's a fact, yikes. But this is what we're talking about in terms of how strongly people feel when it comes to the idea of a professional woman. You gonna challenge me? You gonna come home, tell me how to run my stuff? Let me see what Doug says. That sounds good, but that's not gonna cut in a relationship. Michael says, have they, or is it just the movie magic? Chemo adds, can be a strong woman, at least fake.
Wow.
Why we gotta be faking? Jesus,
Wow.
Lord, we just
That's
here
so
joking
sad.
ourselves, living our. Why would you want us to be fake anyways? Chemo says, can't fake what you don't understand. Lord God.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. Y'all, RM, time out the troll for me. I see one in there. Sergio, welcome to the conversation. Says men want professional women who are women first and foremost. I hear you, brother. Softness is key. Ooh, okay. Thank you for that. Yeah, I think there is a troll. RM will time them out. Good luck, ladies, says Batman.
let me say a little prayer or something. What?
While y'all out here on stepping out on the ledge, some breeze adds, there's nothing to it. Women can express themselves. I see that some men don't know how to or can't handle a real woman with integrity. I thought men and women were created. Oh, geez, this is the thing. A lot of the manosphere, and like I'm not going to say the manosphere represents all men, but a lot of the manosphere, I wonder if they do believe women are created equal. I wonder, because I'm not sure if that is something I thought maybe most Americans agreed on, but I don't think so. I don't think so from some of the commentary I'm seeing online. Thank you, Andre Terry, for being here. I see you, my brother. Thank you. Doug says it may not be all, but it might be a high percentage. Okay, I hear you, Doug. Let's say thank you, the architect. Opinion is not a fact. Thank you very much. His opinion, I respect it, but maybe that's his experience. And I can hear you. If you've experienced that personally, and especially, professional woman, but again, that's one woman. It can be true for her, but I don't want it to kind of, like I said, live on. That's why we're here talking about things that are said that may not be true. And we have to deal with, right? You got to take each person as an individual. Tell me about this pressure to be the best. Because a lot of women I know, the lead attorneys in the building, Lead, we out here doing work. Big up my brother in these YouTube streets. Thank you, Lead, for stopping through. I know you are so busy, but we're doing an interesting topic, Lead. You want to see the topic? The stereotypes that hurt Black professional women. Ready, Lead? You want to come up, Lead? We're talking about personal, political, professional stereotypes that we've all had to deal with and where they come from and how we can dispel them. My special guests are the ladies of LearnBiz, the podcast. They are co-hosts of a fantastic YouTube channel that interviews Black entrepreneurs to try to hopefully use their stories and their lessons to help others and inspire others. They are also consultants. So if you need help setting up a business or don't know where to go next with your business, they are here for you, right? Two fantastic attorneys here. So welcome, hit the like button. But as we were saying, I was getting into this idea that we have to almost be perfect as Black women professionals, or that we have to endure pressure to be the best. I'm talking about in the workplace now. Have you guys ever felt that pressure? Do you guys think this is a true stereotype? And does it serve us? When you're walking into a firm, we've all worked at law firms and work for other people, work for ourselves now. What was that like? Did you see or hear or feel this stereotype of the pressure to be the best or the perfect, least strong? I could do all that by myself, but like within the office space, no room for error. Stay late, help out on every team, volunteer for that extra project, whatever it was. Did you guys live that, feel that? Who would
I
like to
did.
give yeah, go ahead, Lisa.
Okay, yes, I've felt some of that in certain law firm experiences and environments. I think it's kind of a given though with lawyers, because when you're in law school, we're competing with each other, whether it's subtle or not. There's always this competition, and when you get into the work environment, you're still kind of competing to be the best and to get your name, well known, and so there's that kind of competition, which I think, of course, that type of competition is healthy. So I felt a lot of that, and I thought it was good though. I didn't feel bad.
You didn't feel pressure from it. Okay. No. What about you, Miss Sandy? What do you think about this pressure to be perfect?
I've never been responsive to that. I mean, even in law school, coming from education and being in the classroom for many years, when I got to law school, it was like, oh, this, we just got to study. I mean, that's great for me. Like that works. But when I started working for a firm, the dynamic for me was one, the competition level was heightened because we're Black. And so it was like every little thing we did, it was like it had to be a notch above and a notch above and a notch above. And oftentimes, even when I did things well, it was still something like you're trying to nitpick. Meanwhile, my counterparts would, do whatever, and it wasn't a big deal. So, I think I understood what it was very early on, which is why I ended up going solo, because that alleviated for me a lot of thoughts about anything that was going on in firm life. And the other thing is going solo allowed me to step into my own and understand who I was and allow myself to be who I was. Because I came in at an environment when, first of all, there was always conversations about what your hair should look like. And I mean, I was wearing Afro puff in law school and got my locks while I was in law school. So that was already a dynamic. And
y'all was geez, I wasn't doing that. My hair was always, yeah. I always wore my hair straight. Wow. Yeah. Cool.
I mean, it just wasn't who I was. And, when I got into the mix, I started to realize that I'm just going to be who I am. And it really doesn't matter to me what's going on around me. Yes, I understand what the legal profession is, but I decided I was going to do it differently. And being solo was the best move. But yeah, the competition idea is one that I had to step away from. So I'm not competing with anybody. I can have 10 estate planning attorneys next to me, and it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to always get the clientele that I get, and that's just what it is as far as I'm concerned.
I hear you. All right, let me get in this chat. Welcome, Wealth Engineering, my brother in this YouTube space. He has a fantastic channel. Y'all check it out on how to create generational wealth, crypto, real estate, all kinds of stuff he talks about over there. I was listening in last night. Great show yesterday, Wealth Engineering. Welcome. Attorney Bree, boss Attorney Bree, says some of the comments are definitely stereotypes. Women are humans, not robots that are only to serve men. I hear you, boss Attorney Bree. I think men should be open to help from their partners. Wow. Because this is a big thing I hear in the manosphere. Not all. Some men have been asserting the fact that they don't want their wife to work, or that, they want to be the main breadwinner, but that is not very common. Oftentimes there needs to be two people working just to live in America. The inflation is high, housing is so expensive, all those other things. So it's very interesting. They may take issue, boss Attorney Bree, with the term partner. I've heard like, why you got to be my partner? I'm like, what else can we be here? But there's some pushback there, and I'll read a few more comments. But thank you for joining the conversation. Glad you are here. Andre adds, I disagree. I wholeheartedly believe professional women will submit to the right man. There goes that word again. Thank you for coming through, Lisa. Attorney Bree, right on the money. Let's go. Agreed, says with Andre. Yes, to the right man. I don't know how y'all ladies feel with this word submission. Are professional women able to submit to the right man?
I'm starting to wonder what the definition of submission is, because I feel like there's different definition circles. Because I'm like,
Says the lawyers.
When I thought about submission growing up, I grew up with a Haitian mom. My mom was the type of mom that would prepare, her husband's plate and do certain things.
Wash,
but she
cook,
still was
clean.
a working. She would do all that, but she was still a working woman.
Mm-hmm.
You went to work, she went to work. He would cook sometimes, she would cook sometimes. They both did cleaning and did tasks together. They would do grocery shopping together. So for me, the idea of submission was not, it's almost like it wasn't like one is in control of the other. It's a support for one another, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to be like 50-50 or 70-30. Like there's a flux of it. And so that's the thing that I start to wonder, what are some of the folks defining as submission? Because is it a control factor, or is it a partnership? Is it a,
get in that kitchen and make me that sandwich. Give me that sandwich.
That's what I want to know.
Now, Lisa, you have been married.
Yeah.
And that's I'm trying to hang around more married people. That's what they told me I need to do. So one of my good friends told me, and I love this, and welcome to the chat. I see the numbers have gone up. Welcome listening in. Hit the like button as you come in. We're talking to the ladies of LearnBiz, the podcast. Also, all three of us are attorneys. Lisa has been married before. When it comes to marriage, I keep hearing this word that it is a dance. That sometimes he's leading, sometimes you pulling back, sometimes you got to give, sometimes you got to acquiesce. Like, this is what I'm learning. Everybody is not the strong one all the time. So I know every man wants, put us on his shoulders, or not every. Some of the men on this YouTube space say they want to shoulder all the responsibility, but the way life works is a give and take, is a push and pull. So talk about that submission piece, if you wouldn't mind, Lisa. What was your take on what it meant, and how did it work as far as I'm a professional, but then I come home to you, my husband?
Oh my goodness. Suzette, thank you so much for that question. I was married for about 20 years, and I was married to a very traditional type of man who believed that the man is the head of the family, and that the wife is his helpmeet, and that the wife basically was designed to support her husband and to submit unto him. And if there was to be any type of argument or disagreement, at the end of it all, the man's decision will rule and control what happens in the household.
Well,
that's how my husband was. And I'm going to tell you something. I struggled a lot with that, because I always felt like, does my opinion really matter? Does he really hear what I'm saying? Because he has this view that at the end of it all, he's going to prevail no matter what his view is. So is he really hearing me? And so I think that's the problem with the whole submission thing. We should submit ourselves one to another. And I think the Bible actually says it that way.
Yes.
We should submit ourselves one to another. Whatever your strengths are, then I'm going to lean on that. And whatever my strengths are, you should feel comfortable leaning on that we become a total support system. And I think men get into this mode like women are property. This old view about how marriage works in our society, and that's where I think marriages go wrong. Men need to stop looking at women as property and look at them as a helpmeet, but that woman is also a helpmeet for you, and you're a helpmeet for her. I dealt with a lot of those dynamics, I tell you.
Oh my, I'm listening, I'm learning. Y'all think we supposed to submit no matter what y'all gonna say? Forever and ever, amen. That's what y'all want. Y'all want. We got ideas too. We got
right.
We need to have a family, but I feel like it's all one goal. We're supposed to be for the furtherance of this family.
Why did God give us a brain? You know what I mean? We have to resolve disputes, but why did God give the woman the beautiful brain that He has given her? Just to submit?
I see you in the comment. Wealth engineers say, lean on me when you're not strong. Hello. That's what I thought. But
yes, that's the way it should
he
be.
adds, speaking louder for the people in the back. Lisa, that's the way it should be. Hello. Yes. So Lisa will ask this question. I think many women who are professional and otherwise are asking, what if the husband has a whack vision or none at all? Because sometimes, people change when you get in a relationship. Sometimes you get a man and you start out one way, and then all of a sudden that man is like, wait, hold on, what's going on? Because everybody evolves. Not one of us stays the same 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. So this is a question. Biblical submission. Y'all gonna open up what is it? Ecclesiastes. Somebody get a Bible. I can't quote it verbatim. Yeah, let's see. Wonderful 34 says, as an attorney, do you still follow your husband's vision? Wow. This is a good question. I think the answer is yes, but I need to also know I can trust this man. If I'm married to you, I'm assuming that there is an established, like, this man will not hurt me. This man will do what's best for this family unit. This man is always in a protector mode. He's loyal. He's thinking about legacy. That's what I would assume. But not everybody in a marriage think like that. Not everybody is. I'm telling you, the change up is real. I've had friends of mine that I'm like, is that the same husband she married? And then he might be saying, is that the same wife I married? Right? Well, it could cut both ways. But yeah, it depends. It depends on what we're talking about. Andre Terry says, yes, submission looks different in each relationship. Let's not get it wrong. Men submit to women and women submit to men. All right, Andre, don't let them beat you up. All right, let me see. Doug says, women understand submission when it comes to running things and bossing men around. Doug, we're not all doing that.
What? Oh my God.
Doug. Okay,
Oh my gosh.
Engineer says no. In a successful marriage, a woman lead only if a man allows it. Wow. So what you're saying, different strokes for different folks. Okay. That's the dance part of it. If she tries to impose, I hear you, brother, impose on that leadership, it's not going to end well. Oh my. Especially with this new generation. I agree with that second part. if he allows, because every man is different. So I think that is very interesting the way you put that, wealth engineering. If she tries to impose on that leadership, it's not going to end well. I hear you. Yes, boss attorney Bree says my definition aligns with Sandy. That's why I say partner as well. They told me not to use the word partnership. I don't get it. That's how my parents were. I mean, my dad, when he lost his job, my mom made up the slack, and vice versa. Like my mom was a nurse, so her line of work was always in demand, right? Not so much if you're a working tradesman, if you're not necessarily a professional in a sense. Right. So yeah, I saw the dance a lot where one was weak, one was strong, et cetera, et cetera. Michael adds, but y'all submit in no way. Women are not property, and to say that is offensive and a stereotype. Okay, I hear you. So you're agreeing that we're not property and that we're not supposed to just get up and go do what you said just because you say.
Yes, sir, massa.
What you want, a sandwich? Okay, what's up before the billions? I see you.
But I don't mind though. But when you love your man,
yeah, for the right,
honey,
it's a pleasure to cater to the right man.
Exactly.
But when that trust is broken, or when you see, it's kind of weird. It's like, okay, why am I doing this? Boss attorney Bree says that Michael Miller, you may be encountering the wrong women. I know several women that do not treat good men how you explain. Listen, I know several of my friends who are married, professional, making 6-figure or more women, and the way they treat their men, as far as I can see, now I'm not in the house with them, the men look happy. The men look like they going home to a stable, very, very, even-keeled, peaceful, loving, and submission centered family. But I'm sure they also listen to what their wife have to say on certain issues, not necessarily just pushing her aside in terms of their leadership. Their leadership seems to be more collaborative. Right. So I could deal with that. Yeah, what y'all saying?
That sounds good, right?
The architect said, vet. Not all men are husbands. This is another thing. can't submit to everybody now if they're actually husband material. I agree with that. Wealth engineering says, yep, I changed. And the answer is a woman has to follow as she has a vow to do so. I hear you. So wealth engineering say, imagine that man's leadership style. Now, if he is going to allow you to be in the equation, then fine. But your vow, hello, wealth engineering says that's to follow because that's the vow. I hear you. Sherwin Thomas, welcome, says your husband didn't do it right. Your opinion definitely matters because you're his counsel. Hello, somebody. That's what I thought we was. Thank you, Wonderful 34. We've been quoting it. Submit one to another and submit to your own husband and everything, meaning his vision. Okay. Y'all want to define this, what is the right man, but that might be another show. Boss attorney, define what the parameters for the right man is in every definable way. Listen, y'all want to come with the definitions. We attorneys out here, this is what we do. We deal with definitions. DL Saint says, choose people wisely. I hear you very much. Yeah, people want to hear. I don't know if you mean Candy. No one wants to hear her speak, meaning their wife. I see you, darling. Let's see. Luke Hazley in the chat. Welcome. I remember about 10 years ago, a Black woman telling me to never work for a Black man as they treat women like dirt. Wow. And I do not understand why she was telling me that. I'm wondering too. Wow. I think there's a lot in the workplace, especially as Black women, that we experience in terms of stereotypes. So we're going to bring it back to the conversation, which is stereotypes that hurt, right? And I was thinking about this one because I think, especially as women entrepreneurs, as all of us are here, we've experienced, and I don't know about you guys, especially when I was back doing real estate and title and whatnot, building a book of business as a Black woman was very difficult for me because people, I don't know if it's, again, you were young or you were this or you're that. There might be other excuses added to the list, but I always felt like there was something stereotypical, quite frankly, about not wanting their lawyer to look like me and maybe wanting a man, particularly a white man, to handle, certain things, certain transactions. So is there a stereotype when we talk about a consumer base that Black women are not as capable? And I guess we can all speak from our practices. And when it comes to law, do you guys think that we are given the same, fair shake, if you will, when it comes to people who are seeking our services?
Sandy, you want to go first?
That's a tough one because I remember early on, there were times, for example, that I would meet with a husband and wife. And the wife was, of course, fine with having a female assisting her family. But many times I would get pushback from the husband because in many households, of course, the husband is the decision maker in some way, shape, or form. But in many households also, the wife is the one that kind of operates the household. So in terms of making decisions like creating documents and dealing with bank accounts and stuff like that, the wife is the coordinator. But what would happen is when I would get to the home, wife, of course, has set everything up, and the husband's looking at me like, well, who's this? Where's the attorney? Where's the attorney? Because an attorney should be a man. Like, I don't know why this woman is here. So I think I do get some pushback sometimes from my Haitians. I do get some pushback sometimes because the men are always like, what do I got to do all that for? And the woman's like, we need to do this. So it's really interesting. But this brings me back to somebody said something in the chat. It's about experiences. What I'm personally experiencing may not be what Lisa's experiencing, or may not be what you, Suzette, are experiencing. So we're all dealing with different dynamics. I would just say that many times the Black community as a whole is not respectful of Black professionals. I don't even think that that's unique to Black women in some ways, but the dynamic of woman versus man, the man gets a little bit more respect than we do. Because if I show up with a male attorney, the male attorney gets the respect. I'm just like, sweetheart.
I've been there. I've been in large firms where it wasn't an issue. I've been in small firms where it was, where I'm like, okay, am I the secretary or what y'all thinking? How about you, Lisa? So you're saying it depends, especially culturally, dealing with a lot of Haitian American clientele, what they perceive to be an attorney or a good attorney doesn't necessarily, we don't represent that demographic, so to speak. So you might get a little pushback. How about you, Lisa? Have you had that experience when it comes to trying to build a book of business?
Yes, I really have. We deal with that as women. I practiced criminal law for a while. So I was a prosecuting attorney. I got, certain kind of pushback from the Black community that I was a sellout, that I was working for the white man. And, when I became a criminal defense attorney, I heard things like, well, if I hire you, I'm going to need you to be a bitch, a real bitch in the courtroom. I'm going to need you, to be that kind of person. And, I would have to deal with things like that in order to try to earn business and let folks know, like, look, I know what I need to do and how I need to handle the case. So yes, I dealt with that. I walked into a courtroom once, and the judge or someone on the judge's staff said, "Oh, the court reporter's here."
Oh, Lord. I can't. The amount of times I walk into a courtroom and the bailiff's trying to stop me from going into the attorney's box, I can't even tell you. I'm like, sir,
I got that.
Sir, my client is over there. I'd like to sit where the other attorneys sit. Oh,
Thank
and it's
you
usually
very
a
much.
woman that's like, I'm like, please don't do that. Yeah,
Exactly.
interesting.
Or
I've had
walking
that.
back into the jail, even like the way
Yeah,
the defendants, they treat you as a female attorney and the folks back there versus if you were a male attorney.
Different.
Yeah, we get all kind of different treatment on those levels.
Good afternoon, bedside BK. Yeah, I remember. I've had so many times in a courthouse where it's been like the attorney line. I can't even go through the attorney line. I'm like, here's my bar card. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you and this is for the attorneys. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I'm standing here. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. And again, people have this. I will always say that a law is still very conservative. People like to say, we're moving ahead in so many different ways as a society, but law is still very conservative. Practice of law and the people in it are still very, very conservative. So yeah, I've had several times where I've had to deal with even judges or court staff that are asking me, why am I waiting outside of this judge's office? Like, because I'm here to file an emergency motion. That's why. Thank you. Appreciate you. I'll be next. Thank you. Always questioning stuff. And I think that, again, at the time, much younger, all that look, people don't, some people don't assume that that's what we're here to do. When it comes to, and especially in real estate too, a lot of the people I work with were older, I would say men over 50 and predominantly Black. And oh my goodness, that was a difficult demographic to have to manage, because I'm trying to tell you what to do as the attorney, and you try to tell me what to do because you think you're older than me.
And I've even heard some people, as a younger lawyer, I've even heard some people say, "Go ahead and let your gray hair grow out. You get more respect that way."
Yeah, no,
and yeah, people see a little bit of that up on you just so they know you have some wisdom.
Yeah, that was the most difficult part of doing real estate law. I was like, Jesus, they want to tell me what to do, almost just on an age respect thing. And I'm trying to look out for your assets, sir. But I realized that, especially above, generalization, the 50-ish mark, that was very difficult for me. I was like, listen, I don't want to get with you, bro. I'm trying to do your closing. Bro. I'm not trying to, it was very hard to manage. So suffice to say, the pit bull and the skirt. I mean, even back to law school, I remember doing like a trial advocacy competition. And I remember going up against this team that happened to be two white guys from, I think it was like Stetson Law. And they have a certain style. Stetson teaches people how to be like this more quiet strength practitioner. They're very quiet. And I just remember myself, I was paired with a young lady who happened to be a white girl. We was killing the competition. We made it to the finals. And I remember when I saw their style, I changed up my style a little bit. I will to this day regret that I did that. I'm like, oh my goodness. But then I remember on our closing arguments, when I got a little bit more into the case and a little bit more boisterous, and I think they had up an exhibit and I like tore it down. I was like, why did I just do that? But the judge's response to me, which happened to all be white men, were like, I saw that you could speak up. I saw that you could be tough and rough, but it was almost like, at the end, they thought I fulfilled the stereotype that they were waiting for of an attorney, or at the time, a law student like me. So it was like the beginning wasn't good to them because it was a different style. which again, I had elected to. I was like, these boys are killing this and they're not raising their voice. It was so, it was a clinic, honestly. So I was like, I wonder if I could do that. And here I go. I'm like, okay, I'm going to switch up my questioning and I'm going to do my thing. But I lost. We came in second. And I knew it was because I was like, they had anticipated as women, as particularly me handling certain witnesses or whatever, that I was going to be a certain bulldog. And because I wasn't until the end, I was like, they get me mad now. I'm going to. Then I realized, I'm like, wow, this is a deep stereotype of what a woman should be as an attorney, of what a Black woman should be as an attorney. Like even when I took recent pictures and have updated my website pictures and whatnot, people were like, you look too nice. That's not what people want in their attorney. They want like the arms crossed and a grill. I was like, I thought I looked cute, but they were like, no, you look
They don't want that.
I had to think about that as far
Cute.
as branding.
Yeah,
Like,
cute is weak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unfortunately, cute is weak.
Yeah, cute is weak. Don't match too much. Put on that black suit and give them a mean mug because that's what they want. Yeah. So, are you allowed to be soft? Do you guys think that we're allowed to be soft and that we can express our emotions freely? And what do you think others kind of attach to that when we, as Black women professionals, kind of show our emotion? Do you guys feel like we have room to be vulnerable? And
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
A lot of mercy. So it's like it's a no and a no. Explain. Please explain what you mean.
Well, like I said, having emotions, letting a tear roll down your cheek, emotions, they are perceived as weakness in our industry. So that's the way I see it. And I've always felt that way, that's how we get this image of being tough, sometimes like the bitch. And you heard some of the comments, Suzette, some of your comments seem to indicate that professionalism equals masculinity. So that's all wrong. Professionalism is not masculinity. We need a certain level of strength and professionalism in our business to do our work, but then we can drop those things and, be softer when we get home, like we talked about earlier.
Listen, Wealth Engineering, thank you. What the super chat says, how? He want to know how. Y'all talk that game, but how do you balance staying aggressive in the court? Well, I'm like, this is easy.
It's easy.
How can you address this? I feel like I'm a human being. It's almost like acting. You go in the courthouse, let's go. But when I get home, I'm not trying to fight you, bruh.
Right.
How do you stay aggressive in the courtroom, but feminine in the household to keep the marriage alive? I think this is at the crux of, people being multifaceted. People are not all one way all the time. That's not how my personality works. If I'm stepping in a place where I have to bring out, a little bit more of the assertiveness, you do what you have to do, especially when it's a job. You go to your job and you perform a certain way. You go home. Men are not bringing necessarily. Some do. But men in general are allowed the leeway to be given the credit that they can change. For some reason, I think this, and Wealth Engineering, thank you for the question, is something that is a sticking point. People don't believe it. How would you guys address this? I don't mean to interrupt you, Lisa, but I saw this and I'm like, this is exactly what we're talking about here, that all of a sudden, if I'm emotional, it's like, nah, we don't want that. But then when you get home, you better be emotional because your marriage going to suffer. How would you address this?
I think it's trying to make Black women crazy.
This is, I don't know what kind of, y'all not getting the right ones though. It must be.
What do you want? What do you want from us? That's what it really is, because it's like,
I think this would be easy to do, Wealth Engineering. I don't know. I
think it's really not that hard. We're all into roles. We roles, we play roles. You know how when you go to work and you're like, hey guys, how are you?
Yes.
Can you
code switch.
And you get home, you're like, hand me that cup.
We all have that. Absolutely.
It's the same thing with our relationships, right, Suzette and Sandy?
Absolutely. So I think Wealth Engineering, this is a sticking point that many, for some reason, feel like cannot be done or is not easy. I almost think this is second nature. Like, again, when you're with your kids, when you're with your hubby, the man you love, it is not, you're not coming home. You're not an adversary. I'm not coming home to fight you. I'm coming home to build with you. I'm coming home to
love you,
comfort.
baby. Love
Yay.
you.
Hey, a little bit of that, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. You're not across the courthouse, across the courtroom. No. So I would say this is easy for many of us. Obviously, there might be some who are, stuck in that mindset. I'm coming home to, be the judge and the jury and the executioner. Right. But for the most part, my friends are very feminine. And when they're with their man or significant others, oh no, it's not a game. I appreciate that role. I actually love the ability when I don't have to be on, right? Like on, like I have to okay, the judge is on, hey, Your Honor, and I have to be on. No, I love when I can just be myself.
Do you like chivalry?
Yes.
Do you ladies like chivalry?
Pull out the chair. That's still appreciated. Like those things, I'm old school. I think we're all kind of raised with, traditional values in a sense. So yeah, no, that's actually,
I'm good with that.
I'd be happy to not have to be running my stuff when I get home. But people, like I said, the stereotype lives on. They're like, we don't believe you. So back to what I was asking, Sandy, what do you say? And Lisa, I'm sorry, you can finish your thought about
I'm finished.
Yeah, about being soft and able to show emotion. What do you think? Are we stereotyped into a place that we can't?
I think again, this is where the exception is taking over, the rule. Like I feel like the assumption is just attached to us, and we can't even escape it, even in the most basic sense. It's like, even before judges, there are some judges I have to be a little bit softer with.
Yeah.
There are other judges that if I'm talking soft, they're like, I can't hear you.
Exactly.
Speak up.
And you know who to do what with. I already know the judge temperament. So I'm going to come with my Southern charm if I need to for this judge. I'm going to come with just the facts for that judge. We have to do that.
I mean, it just comes with the woman's role. When I think about, I have a lot of married friends. I'm not married, but I have a lot of married friends. And when I look at the dynamics between the husband and wife, one of the common things that I see is the husband is the man. We clearly know that. The woman doesn't wear the pants. However, it is very defined that the woman has a role. She's almost like the coordinator of the household, and the husband is, like the coach. So it's like she's handling all of the different things, but the husband still plays his solid role as the man, as the person providing direction and guidance and support of the household. But that doesn't negate the fact that their wife is a professional who owns a business and is an attorney. And it's so weird to me when I hear these comments. It's like Black professional women can't do A, B, and C. It almost takes me back to a time where many Black women would say, well, Black men are, and you can fill in the blank with a ton of things. I didn't agree with that then, and I don't agree with this now. I think it's really a disservice to us as Black women for us to be just stamped. I mean, you might as well stamp us on the forehead and say angry, and then just leave it at that. It's like, why can't we be?
Yeah, more than every human being has complexities. Every human being has different size. It's almost like us. We can't. We only should be one thing. And I don't believe you. I see Kimo. I love the way he hedges. He write, the women on the panel appear to have balance and femininity that a lot of other women show. Okay, we'll take the appearance of but it's that deep. And again, I don't know if you've had that experience, Kimo. Maybe that's why you're saying it. So I respect that. But I hear how hard it is to believe even that, wait a minute, they would actually do this? Like, hello. I see that as more the rule than the exception, where I see a lot of people either be media or their experience may view it as the exception and not the rule. So no, again, for my friends who are married, and most of my friends are all professionals, they man run their house. There's no question, that the man is in charge, if you will, but the woman's counsel is valued. That's what I see. That's the model I see. The woman is there as a guide and a cheerleader and you got this, babe, but it's not a one man show, if you will. It's a unit. And everybody's moving for, towards the same goal and direction. I see it. Let me see that. Yes, go ahead, darling.
I appreciate Kimo's comment because I think what it points to is the fact that our experiences have so many issues surrounding them, right? Many of us have been hurt in different situations. So our perceptions about men versus women, and notice I said versus, it's not a men and women, it's men versus women. And so we can't even get past the things that we've experienced to see that there may be something different out there, maybe something outside of our realm that is a little bit different. And yes, I get it. There are many folks who are exhibiting these behaviors, both men and women. However, I'm not in a position where I found myself putting a staple on all men or putting a staple on all women to say this is what we are. I feel like there's still some goodness to us. At least I have some hope. I have some hope left.
Absolutely. Just taking a sip there, my ladies. Thank you. Enjoying the conversation with these two fabulous lady lawyers. Yes, we are chock full of lady lawyers today. We are talking about the stereotypes that hurt professional Black women. I am speaking with special guests and co-hosts of LearnBiz, the podcast, Miss Sandy and Miss Lisa. They are consultants and coaches for entrepreneurs. They have a fantastic YouTube channel where they're interviewing Black entrepreneurs every week. So go over, subscribe, and support because they're here and we are all here to help uplift up and educate and build this community. So glad you're here. We are going to read a few more comments. I'm going to go over to the strong Black woman, the strong Black woman stereotype. And again, I'm tired of being strong, y'all. I'm tired. This whole idea that we just strong and we don't need a man, this strength is a good characteristic because it has helped us survive, transatlantic and European slavery and generations of Jim Crow and generations of marginalization and terror in our own, homeland. So the strength has been good, but this idea of always having to be the strong one is one that I want to play with and kind of uncover a little bit. Let me see. Lisa, they said, thank you. For the comment. It's just me say gossiping men on this platform. Most are single, but Sue, you look beautiful. Thank you. Okay, it's just me. Let me get back in it. Wealth engineering says, FYI, it's just me. FYI, I'm married for 8 years. Been with the same woman for 15. Okay, but you are right, Sue. Thank you. You guys are so funny. I'm here trying to get some feedback on the comment. All right. Hermes added back. Even as a remote worker, I had one of my techies relating to my tough life as a single mom. Oh, geez. Things that I've been, thing is, I've been married 22 years and I have no small kids. I keep telling him, yet he keeps thinking this thought. Isn't that sad? That you could tell him I'm married and they want to still put you in a poor, less than them. Again, that we're different. We're other. We're just not allowed to be human. We have to be less than where he or she is. Interesting. Black Man Unfiltered Network. Hey, sis. Is the panel thoughts on Kevin Samuels? Wait. What is the panel's thoughts on Kevin Samuels' ideas on the matter? Well, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to relationships just a little bit. We're going to get to a little bit of the dating and relationship side. Thank you for asking. The architect says, I choose the lot, the plans, the finishes, and the neighborhood. He pays. Not that I choose it. Okay, sis. Okay. I see you. Andre Terry said, yes, Suzette, 100% I agree with what you said. We move as a unit. Okay, I'm a little bit behind on these, but let me just see a couple more. Jessica Jones's cousin at Black Man Unfiltered. Great question. The other man tried to sit KS on some other man on us. I hear you. All right, so there's a lot of Kevin Samuels talk. We're going to get to that in just a little bit. I hope. Hey, Ebony, welcome. See you, sis. Thanks for being here. I see some other comments. Yeah, I think this is the best one. Peter, life is a stage. Thank you. Where we all play different roles. Like, can y'all let us play a different role every now and then? Like know that we are capable of doing that and not hold us to this kind of like stereotype. All right. So when it comes to being this strong Black woman, as we have all on this stage been groomed to be professionals, groomed to go to college, groomed to seek the best out of life in terms of education and achievement. Tell me about this strong Black woman stereotype that I know I have been branded on my forehead with. What does it look like for you ladies? And, how do others interpret you through that lens? Who wants to go? Y'all looking like
it looks like I'm not human. Yeah. So I'm more of a machine. I'm not affected by the things you say or the things you do. or the interactions that happen around me. It's the subtle comments at times where it's like, oh, you speak so well, or it's the, well, I didn't realize you could do that kind of mentality. It doesn't suit me. It doesn't sit with me well. And I think that's one of the things being on my own has allowed me to have a little more leverage over. I've been able to really kind of change my own narrative per se. But I don't like what strong Black woman has become. Because there was a time it was just, it was like a resilience. It was a ability to withstand some of the things that happen. But now it's kind of like, well, strong Black woman means like nothing penetrates me. So all kinds of things can happen to me and it's okay. I can be hurt. It's okay. And there's no one that can come to my rescue.
You can say
because
anything,
I'm a strong Black woman.
Can do anything. To me.
Yeah.
And it's not being deemed as abuse or abusive.
Right.
Because we strong. We don't need it. I see you, Simon Hector, my brother from across the pond. Let's go. UK in the building. Listen, Zakiang Gandu talking about I have a problem with all of you look white. Okay, don't let you can't see the melanin? From makeup to hair. First of all, my girl right here got dreads. Natural hair is. Can I get a close up? Sandy, go ahead and show them the natural hair, please.
I mean, I got locks. Like I'm confused. I didn't know white people had locks, but maybe I'm missing something. I got this nice wide nose. I'm a little confused.
And the nose say, "Oh, the melanation." Okay, we're gonna leave you alone. We're gonna leave you alone. All right, just your opinion. It's all good. Let me see what the chat is saying as we go into the strong Black woman. Y'all having our own conversation. Jessica Jones' cousin Peterson is a famous Canadian psychologist who has been public about having many female lawyers, and based on his professional observation, it's not that easy. What was the comment before that? Now you guys got me curious. Hermes Addict says the man doesn't even know I have one daughter born in the yeah, I'm still mad at that one too. I'm curious what you're commenting on wealth engineering. Let us know what you're commenting on, because I want to know what that was in response. I'm trying to figure out. Thank you very much. Yes, it's just they always turn into a hair thing. Y'all can't be listened to because y'all. I know y'all gonna let me wear my little extensions though. You gonna
let Suzette live.
Now I can be marginalized because I don't wear natural hair. My hair is nice. Thank you very much, but I'm just doing what I want. Exactly. Ready? The architect says this is interesting. I've been called the strong. Oh, really? By my only Black male colleague. My white male colleagues see me as feminine. Ooh, y'all see a difference? And beautiful, because I look fly and I cry to them. She like, I'm gonna get this. Y'all ain't finna stress me out. I can't do this project. I need help. How can I get help on this project? Listen, you do what you have to do. Oh my goodness. Suzette Speaks. This is not a safe platform for these topics. We're gonna have them know. We have to. If we don't vocalize, we don't voice how we're feeling, there can be all these interpretations that tell us how we're feeling. So we wanted to bring actual Black women on this platform to share our actual experiences, so how we think about it, how we experience, these stereotypes. So the strong Black woman, guys. It is deep. It is deep when it comes to almost, and rest in peace, Chesley Christ and all those women who have been overachievers almost their whole lives. I have felt this pressure. Thank you, Peter, for the super chat. No comment, just love. I see you. Thank you so much. I have felt this pretty much my whole life. If I go back to my elementary or primary school, middle school, high school, I've always, thank God for gifting. So I've always wanted to be the best, and I always had the aptitude and the ability to kind of rise to the top. But then there came like a different point where it was always the pressure to be the strong one and the best one and, outdo everybody at all times. And if I didn't, I felt very low. I felt like I wasn't, good enough for achieving. So I wanted to know what you guys sense of, especially as a professional and in relationships. Where did it come from, or how did it manifest in your lives when it comes to having to be the strong Black woman? And does it come from men, etc.? That's a lot of questions. So you guys can break it down how you want to. Again, that's the end for the super chat. What y'all think?
So in my life, I think it came from my profession. So it came from there. Education contributes to the strong Black woman stereotype. Making professional income, especially if it supersedes or exceeds your counterpart. That kind of buys into that. Having a profession where you have authority and managing others, that contributes to that overall stereotype of strong Black woman. And historically, Black women had to hold the family unit down. If you remember in the 60s in this country, in order for struggling Black families to even get welfare or public assistance, they had to run their men out of the house, out the back door, while the caseworker came in and make sure there was no man in the family in order for them to receive public assistance. So there's been a lot of dynamics to just breaking down the family and why the Black woman has had to step up historically. But more than that, we have now embraced and embodied that stereotype.
Yes.
And we wear it and we put that pressure on ourselves every single hour, day of the week. We do it to ourselves now.
Yeah, but it's not serving us, bro. I feel like, and I don't know who said it to me, but someone said, it's like we were in survival mode because we had to be, and then the next generation from like boomers to X and then X to Y and millennials never left survival mode, even though mentally we don't have to be as much now when it comes to economics, etc. It's like we were taught the survival tools, we were taught the survival mindset, but we didn't put that down. Now that we are in a place where we can have the type of men we want in our lives, men who are able to, match us, not be out of the house because of welfare and those economic forces that were, emergent in the 60s, 70s, in drug war in the 80s and all that. We've kind of stabilized, but the mindset behind it has not really stabilized, that we don't have to be by ourselves or pushing alone. Like we can kind of recalibrate. I agree with you that we have embraced it. And some of us, it has become just entrenched that my strength is the only thing I can rely on. I can't rely on anybody. No one else gonna have my back. And it is poisoning our relationships to a certain extent and our seeking of them. How about you, Sandy? What do you think about the strong Black woman trope?
I think some of it came from upbringing. I think about growing up in a Haitian household, education. You need to study hard. You need to work hard. You need to get a good job. And it was always, you need to be able to support yourself. But it wasn't, you need to, find yourself a good husband, right? Like it was like education first, then you can work on the other stuff later. The problem with that is if you're so focused on education and getting that good job and making that good money, you're now independent. And unfortunately, independence is another strong Black woman topic that it's like, well, if I'm independent, well, I don't need this person. So now it became a need versus want. And unfortunately, that has taken us down a rabbit hole that we're forever going to be trying to kind of pull out of, because now the communication is more about, well, I don't need you or I don't want you. So for me, it was a lot of the upbringing piece. And in some sense, I think during a period of time in my early adult ages, everything was about being an independent woman and not needing a man, unfortunately. I've never really subscribed to that idea. I've always felt like I wanted someone in my life and not looking at it as I don't need you, because that doesn't make sense for a relationship. It's a give and take. So I think those types of mindset kind of seeped into our society in the wrong way. And it's created this, again, men versus women instead of us trying to come together. The funny thing, though, is our community is experiencing that with each other. Our counterparts, they're not like that.
Explain that as far as the strength.
Our counterparts are not sitting there pitting themselves against each other. Instead, they're focused on building with each other.
Well,
because I've noticed in my college years that a lot of the interactions were on, coming together to build something.
Right.
I don't know about now. I'm not in the scene, so I don't know what
Right.
now looks like. But for a long time, I saw a building more so, and then we were pitted against each other, like, well, Black women are this or Black men are this. But I don't ever
This is a
remember
bigger
seeing
question,
that.
Sunny. Oh, Jesus. This is a big question. Let me get to some of the chat. Let me get to some of the chat. TBE, I think when we were talking about, Lisa was talking about the divide in the home because of welfare and all the other things. That she says this is the first Black woman. Wait, we know this. Wealth engineering adds facts. The survival mode mentality is probably what we need to move past and go to the prosperity mindset. I agree with you. Needs watches. I see you. Salute. Thank you for being here. Yes, Doug said not my first, but they're rare. No, we talk about this. That's why I'm like, what? We know how the men got played, man, and the destruction of Black family by governmental forces. Indirectly,
Absolutely.
some people would say it was conspiratorial. I'm not going down that rabbit hole, but people know that this is where we came from. This is the destruction started before civil rights ended. We were married. Before civil rights ended, we were married. We had to have one another's backs. And we're not getting into the women's movement. Y'all, they always got a problem with the women's movement. They say the women's movement done messed up. White women still getting married, but Black women over here talking about they need freedom. That's what I'm saying. Jonathan Berryville with the super chat. I'm just saying, guys, we're gonna move into relationships. We're gonna get into relationships because this is a whole segment in and of itself. So we're gonna talk about the stereotypes that we endure because we're professional Black women and people want to act like we can only be one way. Let me see what Barronville has to say. JB, I can't stick around to listen to the discussion, so I'll catch the replay. Keep doing your thing. Thank you, JB, with the 50 on the super chat. Thank you. Also a Patreon member, supporter of this content. My message, I appreciate you. The brothers are in the building. Thank you very much to Jonathan Barronville. So yeah, we have had this discussion in bits and pieces. We're still sticking with the strong Black woman trope and where it came from, which again, economically speaking, after the civil rights movement, I think what happened was many in the majority culture saw how strong we were with our tradesmen. Black men with trades sponsored the civil rights movement. Our electricians, our painters, our funeral home directors, our plumbers, all of the longshoremen, the folks, the Pullman porters, the men with trades who were the head of household, helped to galvanize and finance the movement that we saw materialize through the 60s. So there are many that will argue that having seen that, there are some forces even in our government that may have wanted to see that destroyed. I'm not going to speak on it from my personal opinion, but this is where we're just going to leave that, right? So here we are. We get through the 70s and the welfare changes where, again, if a man was in the home, you can't get welfare. So all of a sudden, baby, you're going to come on sleep tonight. But by the morning, when the lady come to inspect, you got to be gone. You got to be gone. And then we look in the 80s and the mass incarceration that began as a part of the so-called war on drugs.
Yep.
Where, again, you take away my father, but then you make fun of me for not having a father. Let's just call it what it is. Throughout the 80s, my family immigrated to the United States like in the middle of the crack epidemic. So we didn't even realize, I'll tell y'all this, in our church, there were a lot of people that went down. I don't think my parents understood it was drugs. I thank God we were probably oblivious to it because not that it's funny, but I'm just saying in terms of like the real impact that it was having as immigrants. I'm grateful that we weren't necessarily like 100%, touched by that part of the culture or that infiltration of the culture, I'll say. But we have, especially in South Florida, there's evidence of like police planting drugs in the community here, in the historically Black communities here, and all the effects they had. So here we are. We were strong. We had to be strong. So are we, ladies, Are we living up to that stereotype? Is it true then? And do we have to pull back from it, or what's going on with this? What do y'all think? Do Black women want families? Does people want to say, you don't want no kids, you don't want no man? Do we want families? Do we want husbands and families? Let me ask you that, because the strength is a part of our story. But again, we have to ask ourselves, is it still serving us? And in what ways? So let me ask you that, because there's going to be this pushback. I know a lot of people will say, well, y'all don't want no families. Y'all want to have, single motherhood. And again, that's not to marginalize anyone. That is not to marginalize anyone. I've seen some women heroically have to step up to the plate, depending on circumstances. Right. You don't know if your husband gonna die. You don't know if all these situations, you don't know. So this is not a judgment piece, but there is going to be this professional woman stereotype that we must discuss about, do we want a family? Do we want a husband? How would you answer that?
Sandy, go ahead.
I think our lives are a little bit more dynamic than just to say that we don't want certain things. We all have different things that go on in our lives that kind of change the course of what happens and when it happens. Some people are able to have children, some are not. Some people want to have children, some aren't able to. I feel like it's not a simple yes or no answer.
Yeah, and forgive me for oversimplifying. Thank you for bringing that up, because everybody, Jonathan Barronville with another $50 super chat. Look on this. Another 50. Jeez, say yes to more Black marriages and families, and no to the foolishness. Amen. We agree, sir. I was out with the shorty last night.
Not the shorty.
Okay, with the Valentine's Day special, to an upscale, Mediterranean, nice. And it was interesting to see a group of sisters at a table nearby. Lord Jesus with the Galentine. Don't start with the Galentine.
Let me comment on that. I just want to say this. Everybody does things in their own timing. So I'll give you an example. I've done the Galentine's thing. And the reason why wasn't because there wasn't a Valentine. It was because it was circumstantial. We have different schedules. We might have done Valentine's on the weekend before, or we planned the week. So I think everything we do is so scrutinized. And then it's imposed upon us as a whole, versus saying there are circumstances that impact why we do things, how we do things, and when we do things. So I really feel like I wish the dialogue could just continue to happen with us as men and women, so that we can start to have some more understanding about why certain things are happening in our community. And I'm loving, Suzette, your platform, because you're doing that. You're allowing us to have a voice. But I want us to understand that
Sandy,
things are not.
Don't invite me to no Galentine. I don't want no Galentine in my life. Valentine only. No Galentine.
I mean, trust me, I don't either. I mean, I've had it happen to me circumstantially over the years, but it's not something that I want. Trust me, none of us want to be sitting around with a bunch of estrogen in the room. I definitely would rather sit with some testosterone, some flowers, and enjoy a nice dinner. Trust me. I don't know anybody that wants to sit with a bunch of females to do anything.
Yeah. That's a stereotype that we don't need them. We want to be at the Galentine. Don't put me in that. Don't put me in that. But yes, go ahead. So
go ahead, Lisa. I can't.
So family, marriage. Do professional women desire these things? Do we want the Black family? Oh my gosh. Do we have this? Do we respect the Black man? That's another big topic here in this YouTube sphere. We don't respect the Black man. It's the stereotypes. Now, some people do, I will say, carry some deep and harbor some deep hatred in their heart because of experiences they personally have had. I'm not going to act like there is not women, professional women even, that have these hard, hearts because of things they've experienced and people doing them dirty, honestly, and their life or how they grew up, right? So we're going to leave room for different exceptions, But let me ask you, do we value Black men, the professional Black woman? Y'all can answer that. I asked you about the children and the family, if we want that, if you want to take that, Lisa, or if you want to talk about, do we value Black men? Do we esteem them? That's another big stereotype.
Well, I think Sandy covered the fact that we definitely want children, we want families. So I'll deal with the Black man. We do value the Black man. We respect the Black man, his worth, his contribution to our society. We know that historically he was marginalized, and that is what created kind of like the downfall, almost to the point where the Black man had to build himself back up to the worth and his status in his family. So we have been through that culturally with the Black man. And I know that women want Black men to be breadwinners, to go out and take care of their families. But we know the reality of that is that this society does not always allow for that Black man to find his rightful place. You know what I mean? Or it takes a lot longer, or it's a lot slower, or he doesn't have all the... So those are the things that we're dealing with. And we work alongside that Black man, knowing that he's frustrated. But what he cannot do is take those frustrations out on that Black woman and disrespect her or treat her less than valuable because he doesn't have what he feels he needs as a man. Those are the issues. And it's not always just the interpersonal. All the society stuff gets mixed in with it and complicates it. But yes, Black women love the professional Black women, love their Black men, and the Black men they love do not all have to have college degrees.
My G, open that can of worms. Open that can of worms. You want to add anything, Sandy?
Look, I answer yes to all of those questions that you asked, and I'm not understanding where the gap is. I don't know if it's social media that's created this. I don't know if it's, I saw someone mention love and hip hop earlier. I don't know if it's what we're seeing in the marketplace or in the professional world or on the streets or at the nightclubs. But I feel like there's like this big disconnect. And every time I hear these conversations, I'm just like, we're here.
Who are they talking to? Exactly.
Who are y'all?
Who are you
like,
calling?
It's not here.
Who are you asking? Because no one's asking me. Like,
or they'll say statistics, and I'm like, who did they poll? Like, can we get some numbers? Like, what areas did they go to? Because that's not anybody that I've dealt with. If we're talking about personal experiences, none of my Black female friends have this mentality. None of my married or single or dating. We could just pick one off a
tree. We would just pick a nice ripe Black.
Yes.
I'd be like, what are they talking about? Who else? Ain't nobody loyal like a Black woman to a Black man. That's how we live. That's how we've been conditioned. That's what we know in our hearts to complete us. My goodness, I don't know where they get that, but I had to ask because people are acting like we don't respect the Black man, and there are women that just we have this idea, but based on media that has been infiltrating in our minds that we are not as respectful of or have an esteem for. I think that's wrong. And again, these women here on this panel are in agreement with that. So again, you raised something, Lisa, about the dating a man without a college degree. Yeah, dating a man without a college degree. Let me get a close up so you can see our face. Because this is a big talking point that we as professional women would not even look at or would not even consider within reason. We're not gonna act like we're gonna get the people who ain't got no income, at all, let's just say. But this idea that we would not entertain anyone who is not like us, let's just put it like that. If they're not professional, we don't want them. Can y'all address that as professional women and where you stand on that? Would you date someone who does not have a college degree if he is, making a decent income, a nice stable income, and brings other things to the table? What say you? Because I'm tired of hearing it. Just saying. Anybody want to take that?
You want me to? I'll
and we're going to drop the link because I know some of the brothers talk about CAP and they don't really believe these things. Listen, this is as real as it comes. So I don't know what y'all want.
This is real talk.
Let's address that first. I'm going to drop the link and a couple of y'all can come up and then we're going to go. We're going to drop the link now.
Real talk.
But yes, join
my answer.
Yes, go ahead.
Is been there, done that.
Bought the t-shirt.
Bought the t-shirt, took the trip with, I don't, my decision making when it came to this realm had nothing to do with, I'm really checking off, like, you must have this, because I learned early on that my compatibility with folks was based on what they got going on up here and what they're willing to put into a relationship. So it wasn't based on, you got to have what I have, because if you got to have what I have, that means you need a bachelor's, you need a master's, you need a law degree, you need 10 years of experience working here. And Like, you need all these things. That's not realistic. You're not always going to find exactly the cookie cutter that you want. So I learned that years ago. And for me, it's not about the degrees. Because honestly, when I think back, I'm like, man, I could have been an entrepreneur years ago. I might have made way more money. So to me, the degree and that status stuff is not the relevant piece. It's about what are we putting together, because there are folks with degrees that got nothing going on. They got the degrees and they're just floating through the world.
Amen. It don't mean success.
There are folks
Amen.
that have no degrees and have been hustling since the beginning and own businesses, or at least have steady income coming in, and they're working something that is productive for them. So I've seen all lanes of this. I just think that because we've gotten so wrapped up into these ideals about checking off a list, we've lost the concept of, are we compatible? Do we have the same values? Do we feel the same about, religion and spirituality and education and, professionalism and ethics? Do we have the same type of lane? Because I get the same behaviors from those who are professionals and those who are not. It's kind of like, what are you trying to throw your degree at me? And I'm like, no, did you see my degree on the table? Because we're not talking about my degree.
That's what they keep saying. We're leading with the degree. We leading with the degree. I'm like, what are you talking about?
No, because I don't even want to
feel like I'm leading with the degree. I'm not bringing up my degree every 5 seconds. It's you. So I want people to understand that is not a criteria. At least for me, and as Sandy has stated. Sherwin, thank you for the super chat. Sandy is saying the exact same thing that KS, y'all don't bring him over here, said with regards to parents pushing education, not family. I said it. Sandy is saying this has been my experience. It's not the like a lack of desire for family. I didn't even realize I should have wanted it when I should have wanted it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is now I'm looking around and I have my little niece and I have other people that I'm like, dang, legacy and life and family is super important. But I'm not going to say I didn't want it. It wasn't a not desire or ignoring of a good man and all that I think is being, again, foisted upon me. That's not what happened. I did my work. I was trying to get my hustle on, make a few dollars, make my parents proud, buy a few assets, and try to, quote, make myself valuable to a man. But y'all saying now that ain't value. But it's again, when you wake up to it in your own self, in your own time, as Sandy said, in your own heart, you're looking around like, whoa, the ball game has changed. Now I'm looking at not only me, but all the other people who have come of age now and have different values and are pushing different things, and men are thinking differently now. So yeah, this is very true. Like I said, I don't think it was a matter of not wanting us to get married, but the focus on education and the focus on building and being okay. And again, maybe some of these women had an experience where they could not, what they say, when you control the purse, you control the household. So they didn't have the flexibility and the say so in the home. And maybe they looked at their daughters and were like, babe, I want you to at least be able to have something for yourself so you can have a little bit more leverage. I'm not saying they were right or wrong, but they saw as some disadvantage, not that their lives were bad, as a mom or a stay-at-home or whatever, their lives weren't bad, but they saw like, wait, I wanted you with the divorce rate high now and with all the other things going on to be able to take care of yourself if something happens. But in that regard, I think there was a de-emphasis. My parents always said they just thought it would happen. But there was not you meet a nice guy. I was telling my mom, it was so funny. We were talking on the phone, and I was telling her about Valentine's Day yesterday, wishing her a happy Valentine's Day. And I was telling her that I was like, do you remember high school when I had this nice little boy that liked me? And I wasn't allowed to have boyfriends in high school. I'm telling you, the training of my mind. Like, I wasn't even allowed to try to start navigating relationships because there was this big respectability politics. You better not get pregnant. You better not get pregnant and bring shame to this family. Right. So to even learn how to date and learn to be with a man or learn how, to navigate a man and a woman thing, I never got that practice. I remember she wouldn't let me, my mom wouldn't let me go to the store and buy him a gift. It was that deep. It was like, no, which boy y'all buy? I'm talking about we were in like 10th, 11th grade. And she was like, heck no, you can't do that. You better learn a book. You better study a book. And I remember only thing I had in my house to give him, y'all, it was she from her hospital where she worked. She had a frozen, almost like a flower, like a frozen rose wrap that was red, and then with a green foil stem. And I was like, this man buying me a gift. I can't go to school without nothing. Y'all know I brought that that frozen rose. And I remember him distinctly. Shout out to Derek. We probably should be married now. Shout out to Derek. Derek gave me this balloon and this teddy bear and this cute, you know how guys just do. And I gave him the flower. And I kid you not, ladies, he took that thing and hit against the wall.
What?
He was like,
he wasn't happy.
He hit my phone against the wall like, blah, blah. He was like, this is what we do.
I'm done.
But imagine how much shame I felt coming into my young womanhood. I felt so much shame. Like, again, parents aren't perfect. I'm just sharing with y'all one story about the old school Jamaicans, but it wasn't allowed. I didn't even see it as something I could pursue. It was like, keep your head in a book and go get your degrees. Go take care of yourself. But the idea that, yes, big up. I'm talking about, no, he didn't. Derek, what you doing, boy? Derek was so like, he was like, this what you giving me? Blah, blah. Start hitting the flower.
That was so sad.
It was terrible. But again, these are my formative years of understanding what relationships should or not mean.
Book before man.
Right? Book before man. That's exactly, Ebony. Karikri says that sounds like my mother. She used to tell me, yeah, you better go pick up your book and read, but you want boyfriend. Exactly. It was like, what you doing? Oh no, it was traumatic. Some of the stuff, if I tell you,
look, Haitian parents were not any different. They were exactly the same. It's like, you better hit those books. There's no boyfriend right now.
Which boyfriend? Which? I'm talking about right into college. I'm telling you, it was like the prime time of where it should have been a hunting season.
Exactly.
I was trying to be the best I could be, me and my organization.
Right?
Yeah, it's a different time we're living in now. But yeah, and then we have resulting in you being single. I'm not gonna say it was the pivotal moment. It was then I decided no, but I'm just saying that mindset around marriage and many other occurrences I can share was very, very haunting in a sense where it was like, what is important? This is important. This I can hold on to. This can't be taken away from me. But not saying that I don't think they didn't want me to get married, but there were no conversations around the benefits and how beautiful, because I was talking to my cousin the other day. I was like, babe, I have you. I have all my family. This is because people got married and had babies. Like I have all of this wealth in family because somebody got married and had babies. But we are not talking about that in the same way. I think where it was just assumed. I think now because people have so much choices and there's so many distractions that, now we have to talk it up and we have to, prioritize it in how we talk to our young people. I might have to write a book on this because I feel like I try to save the next generation. Wealth engineering, says Lisa. Salute to my Haitian sister attorney on the panel. Okay, awesome. Yes, Miss. I think it's actually Sandy's. But big up, thank you. We appreciate the love. But yeah, when it comes to so I'm okay with dating anybody up and down the educational level.
Me too.
As long as you got the same values. Thank you, wealth engineering. The same values and a decent income and a decent vision, I could rock with you, right? Yeah. If you are showing, I don't marry promise. I don't think I could marry promise at this point. I'm too old for that. But I think I could give a chance to. I think many men would almost like be insecure to believe that a person like us could give them a chance. What will say you, Lisa?
Well, Suzette, one thing, I'm looking at all three of us here on this visual. And the one thing we all have in common is that we don't have any children. We're all professional women. We're all accomplished in that regard, but we don't have children. That's a problem to me.
Absolutely.
And I remember crying the day when I realized that my so-called clock had expired and the window was shut and barred because I put my career first. I put getting established first before thinking about having children. And I honestly, even though people say you can always adopt, and I get that.
Yeah.
But I regret that I wasn't doing both things and working on both things at the same time. It didn't work out for me that way, but I wish it had.
I hear you, sis. I hear you, because I'm grateful that you would share that so openly and so forthright, because we don't talk about that. We're supposed to be happy and look like we all got together. And not to say the grass is always greener. Let me just say that, like, again, marriage for some people is bliss. Marriage for some people is hell. So I'm not going to pretend, but especially when it comes, the thought hit me when I think about, especially just as us as a small representation of all of the talented, well raised and invested in women without kids. I said, God, look at the knowledge base and everything that will not be poured into somebody. You understand what I'm saying? All the life experience, all the, like I said, our parents did what they knew how, and I think they did a darn good job. But the folks that need to have the kids ain't passing along the knowledge and the beauty of life and all the life lessons to the kids. And then there are some, not everybody, but there are some that we question, like, dang, they having all the kids. Like, what's going on?
They don't need to be passing down nothing.
I'm like, if we have had thank God for our parents, we won the lottery already. If you have good parents, you won the lottery. You know, education and could afford it, you won the lottery. Growing up in the United States, you won the lottery. All these wonderful things. And like I said, the creme de la creme, if you will, of life experience, financial ability, you name it, values and morals, ain't having kids. Our community is doomed. That's how I feel. Like, I really feel like it's so sad to contemplate, even for myself and many like me. And you're not the only one, Lisa. People have woken up and we're like, dang, well, they told us this. They told us to establish. They told us to work hard. I tell you, 5 years ago, I woke up and I was like, I need to get out of this real estate game. I'm going to be here all night. I'm going to be doing this forever. Like, I really it was shocking to me when I was overwhelmed, really just burned out. And then had that epiphany, like, but is this the life I'm trying to design for myself? And the answer ended up being a big fat no. But y'all wonder what we doing on YouTube, baby. We trying to make other income so that we don't have to be, playing that proverbial, what should I say, the game in terms of the corporate game. It's a part of life. Everybody has to earn bread, but no one teaches you 2 is better than 1. True. The amount of time it has taken us as individuals to build the same wealth as it would have as 2, our white counterparts, our white sisters, they about that game. They realize, even, and what I admire about them, even if it don't work out, they okay with placing a bet. You hear what I'm saying? We got too much pride. We ain't gonna place no bet. My cousin, no, I'm not putting her business out here. She just went out on a date with somebody and she posted him. First time meeting and posted him. I was thinking, girl, why you posted that man? You don't know if that man gonna be around for the second or third date. But what I admired about it was like, gosh, this is the bet on him. Even if he turns out bad, they're not afraid to bet on him and try. Even if it blows up in their face, and it may. But not every man is ready to be married. Not every man is ready to be a husband. But our counterparts have learned, you know what? I even at the Super Bowl, I went to a Super Bowl party, and a woman who met someone. Now, let me tell you how messy this is. We're not going to do this. A white woman who was the nicest lady from down here sat next to me and my homegirl, and we were at like a rooftop party. She said she knew she was already getting ready to divorce her husband. Her husband and her had already bought a trip, a cruise. So they were like, either lose these thousands of dollars or go. We're probably going to be divorced by the time this comes around, but we're going to go. On the cruise with the soon-to-be divorced husband, she meets a guy, and that's who she got at the Super Bowl party. Like,
what?
Like 3 months ago, we met during Christmas. I was like, what? And she was on the cruise with old boy. Yes, she was going to be divorced, but she's not afraid to make the bet. You understand what I'm saying? This man was from like Utah. And a little burly. I was like, okay, Utah. Okay, you look like Boulder, Utah-ish. Like that rugged skin, you know what I'm saying? They grew up in snow, for real. Okay, moisturized. Okay. But I thought, and she had flew him out here, or he flew out here for them to hang out, and they're making the bet. They're placing the bet. I think for us, especially when it comes to that respectability that white women don't have to deal with. Black women have to be respectable. We don't want to be the stereotype of the hoe or the Jezebel. So we go to the extreme. But really what needs to happen is we need to put an emphasis on dating a little bit more. Help me somebody. Pushing ourselves out there more. Placing more bets, if you will. Even if it is, that one wasn't good. Okay, don't take it personal. That one wasn't ready. That one's on something else. He crazy. He this, he that, whatever. But they're not afraid to play the game and let the best man win. You understand what I'm saying? We are taught date one person at a time. It does not serve us. Because you'll wake up 2 years later and oh boy, on some different, as we would say, Ray nonsense. We can't be on this. But it's how I think the tools that we have are antiquated for many of us. And like I said, I look at my white sisters and I'm like, dang, guys, they are in this game. They're not playing with this game. They don't care. They be on the divorce cruise, picking up people at the bar and then seeing them the next couple months. I was like, wow, this moved fast. This moved very quick. But no judgment. But I'm just saying it's a different mindset. And I applaud, those of us who are finally awakening from, whoa, what have I been taught? Is this serving me? Has this served me? And hopefully we can pay it forward to some other ladies. I want the ladies to give me their comments. Y'all can come on up. I'm dropping in the link. College education, like I said, whether we communicate is another point, or whether we interrogate. Sandy, I think you brought this up when we were doing our little pre-game conference. Talk about that when it comes to stereotypes of Black women professionals, whether we are interrogating or just communicating. What's your experience?
I can only speak from the attorney perspective. I think it's a challenge for us because our profession forces us to communicate in a very different way. And sometimes I can definitely admit, sometimes I may ask a question, then ask another question, then ask another question. It's like I'm seeking kind of like the dialogue, but the dialogue that I'm seeking is what I'm used to in the work. And it's really tricky. But I think for me, I've caught myself doing it. And he's also told me sometimes like, you're doing that thing. Like, let's just have a conversation. You don't need to keep asking me multiple questions. We're just gonna let it flow. Because, it's just a force of habit, but it also comes with in a relationship, we have to dialogue with one another about how we feel and how we make each other feel. So it's, we can't be on the attack with each other and basically make each other feel bad about certain behaviors that we have, because we each have behaviors. We each have little quirks about ourselves. We each have things that maybe don't contribute to the cohesiveness of our relationship. And so it's just important for us to talk about it and not to be in the position where we're like, oh, well, you don't need to be interrogating me now. How about say it a little bit different? All right, I know you just came from work. We might need to decompress from work mode a little bit, but let's just talk. Let's just chill. I think it's a tough thing for specifically attorneys. I can't really speak, about other Black women professionals.
I'm so sorry. I was just typing in my show sponsor, but I'm multitasking. Yes, we gonna ask some questions. I remember I dated this guy. We were like talking, I guess, long distance in college. And I remember asking him something. I was like, I knew the story didn't make sense already. And I was like, so you telling me this or what you telling me? You telling me this? And then he was just like, no, I ain't got no more answer. I've had that happen. He was like, I don't know what they say because listen, we're not gonna twist and turn it. We're gonna get to the bottom. We're gonna get to the facts. So did you know or did you not know? When did you know that this happened or not? So I can see how for men that can be daunting and that can feel like, I don't want nobody in my house questioning me 24/7. And it's not a 24/7 thing. But I like the pushback though. When they notice it, they're like, ha 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 ha. Just a little less. Thank you. Just a little less. You gotta be like, Madam Attorney, you like all that. But again, there are gonna be quirks with your personality too. Not only the woman's, but yours. So I'm gonna correct in love, or I'm gonna seek some kind of boundary in love. But I think, yes, there is sometimes always an assumption, even if it's just a basic question, that I'm trying to quote attorney you, which I'm like, can I just ask a question? I'm just trying to get to the bottom. But if you're trying to lie, you already know you mad because I'm gonna get to the bottom. But it's like, it's not a questioning of an authority. It's not a questioning of decision making. It's more like I want to understand, but it can be misinterpreted. How about you, Lisa? Have you ever within your marriage getting that Now I know you want to attorney me when I get home kind of vibe.
Yes, I'm just sitting here relating to everything you're saying because I have definitely dealt with that in my marriage and in my in my relationships. Yes, don't interrogate me, and the whole lawyering thing, and you don't mean to. It's just like I think logical. That's the way I was trained. It's a part of my mindset now. If it doesn't make sense, I'm going to ask the next question until it makes sense for me. Is that okay?
Yes, girl. Every time I try to type in my show sponsor, I get caught up in the I want to shout out Jonathan Bearville so bad because he's my show sponsor. Let me just type it up. Y'all enjoying the conversation?
Yes.
Hit the like button. I am. Ladies up here, we are having a blast.
While you're doing that, Suzette, I wanted to go back to the one comment. I think you mentioned something about crack in the 80s and the epidemic.
Yes.
And I wanted to mention that up because I think that was the one period of time in the 80s when Black women were not being strong Black women. You saw a lot of Black people in general, men and women, fell victim to the crack epidemic. And at that time, I was working in an area of law called dependency. And I was trying to keep families in their homes and fighting the Department of Jobs and Family Services, who were constantly trying to remove children because mothers were getting addicted to crack, and they were leaving the home and leaving children uncared for, neglected, and all of that. So I think we did have a period of time where we saw a lot of women in the 80s just losing their children left and right to the system. And a lot of grandparents ended up with legal custody of their grandchildren. But again, we're going back to strong Black women. When there was a weakness, we started relying on grandparents for that strength. Because a generation of us, some of us got wiped out in that crack epidemic. So I just wanted to mention that.
I think we were strong, Lisa. I understand your point that you're making, though. I just think, like I said, the targeted nature of our own government in terms of like where and how this poison was allowed to come in and even sometimes planted, it was very difficult for anybody to come away from when you had little kids making millions, or not millions, but like thousands of dollars in neighborhoods and in communities where men were absent. So now you're looking at your son as a breadwinner, and you're protecting your son in all kinds of manner of, dealings. But yeah, I agree with you. We suffered both men and women in the 80s suffered a deep blow across. I think, especially our brothers in the working class, they suffered a blow. And all of a sudden it was just it tore out the heart of what used to be hardworking, maybe didn't have a lot of money, but hardworking, good valued Black America. It just tore out the heart of it. So we suffered a generational loss, and I don't think we've switched back into any kind of like narrative of like the family unit. I think the narrative kind of remained that ain't no man gonna be here to help you, and you got to take care of yourself, as opposed to I'm looking for a man to connect with and build a legacy with, and I'm vice versa. I'm not speaking for the men, to where the men are saying these women trying to get me, or I've never seen how to be a husband. I've grown up with my mommy alone or my grandma alone. So I'm nervous about it. I'm insecure about it. I don't know if I have what it takes to be. And I'm scared I'm going to repeat the cycle. So I'm afraid and I stay away, So we have it on both ends when it comes to the destruction from the 80s. It is lived on. They mission accomplished, honestly, when we have this high rate of unmarried, non-wed Black women, especially coming from the top earners, top tier, if you will, of earners. I saw Wealth Engineering put a comment, and we were going to back up a little bit because, I'm late. Wealth Engineering said the saddest thing is in my life when one day I was doing Uber and two women lawyers got into a car drunk and confessed to me how they can no longer watch TV because they can't see the baby diapers without crying. Listen, if we're not willing to say what we just said, it is very hard for this to change, because I'm telling you, the hot girl summer that people are preaching and the I'm going to always have a man. I remember one of my friend girls said, like, I just thought, and I've heard Kevin Samuel say this too, that good guys would just always be there. And then all of a sudden you turn what she was maybe like, she's like, as I turned like 35, it's like they just dried up. Like I always had someone, or maybe even 32, the next date was always there, the next date. But people mature too. Men are seeking at different levels of life, partnership. And some people are married now. Some people have other things going on. And then the pool changes. That's why I do encourage people, the younger you are, the less drama both y'all have. So hopefully you guys meet in the middle and grow together. Sure. I'm not saying that model is perfect. I'm not saying you go just stay married, because people get divorced regardless. But I'm just saying, all things considered, looking back at what I see now, man, even women who had, and I had just had this discussion with a fellow lady lawyer, even the girls who had babies in high school, to me, I think they ended up better off in the long term, because now with the generational shift of parent and grandparent support, instead of shunning, they're like, late 30s and they're back with an empty nest and they get to start over. They got their kid and all this. So I'm not encouraging it. I'm just observing that there are some benefits to people having children in their youth. And there is not a lot of discussion around it. People are stuck in that trope of wait, establish your career, and then get a man. It doesn't work. It doesn't always work
that way. It does not.
These people that are out here preaching the wrong stuff. And I think they are. Our white sisters are not following it.
No, they're not.
Both. Y'all over here preaching this and they doing both. They're like, yeah, girl, you don't need this. And I say they are. But in general, they're not held to that standard. Right, people telling me now why I'm looking for a husband. I'm like, I had to cut a couple people off. I can't even tell you the conversation. Because I might put the person on blast. Let me stop. All right, let me read some more comments. Y'all stop playing. Let's go. Yeah, the football story, the Super Bowl party was real. Oh, girl, best side. BK said she sounds smart to me. She was like, grab your opportunity when you can. Listen, I was thinking, we're slow. We're out here trying to be, virtuous women. A virtuous woman sounds and looks a certain way. Yeah. Let me see. That says women shouldn't be the standard for Black women. I hear you. I hear your point. Okay. Right. Hit the like button. Yes. Like button punch. Thank you. Wealth Engineering says the ladies at the white counterparts are at the gym too, working on a squat machine, getting their behinds to the grass every weight.
Listen, oh my God, not the meat.
Serious and motivated out here. If you learn how to season the meat in the kitchen, it's a wrap. Wealth Engineering for the win. Listen, they made it a priority. You're being told don't make it a priority, and then all of a sudden, and when it's a priority, the dating pool changes. But yeah, I think we got to make sure we're not teaching the next generation the same rules, because they're not applying now. TTO says, look for someone who matches your energy and your values, not someone who has values that you don't have or you want them to have so that they can carry you. Listen, there's a lot of, I think someone said, don't compromise or you end up like Mary J. Y'all messy. I like Mary J. But the point I'm hearing is, the similar values and decent pocket, I'm good with. I don't really need much more, but I think a lot of people stereotype me into needing much more. All right. Yes, our Legal Eagle stories are great. Yes, we're great storytellers indeed. Let me see. Peter Investor M says, Wealth Engineering, I second that. The panel are beautiful, smart, and professional women. It's always great to hear their perspective. Well, thank you. I dropped the link. Y'all nervous? I'm going to go about 15 more minutes if y'all don't want to come up and get in the conversation. Because, ladies, anything that you want to touch on, now will be the time. I'm going to see if there's any questions in the chat. Y'all can drop them. Yes, keep the likes up. Let's have a conversation. Y'all can dial in. I dropped the link. The StreamYard has been dropped, and I'm going to give it about maybe, because these ladies are busy, maybe 15 more minutes or so if you guys don't want to join the panel. But any final comments, ladies, or any other areas of stereotyping? We did talk about, I'm trying to look at my little notes here. Communication, that we want to run the house, being overly examined. I have a few here. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. We talked about the historical perception about, us being strong or hard or whatever. Let me think. Is there any other that you guys can recall having experienced? Any other stereotype? Oh, let's talk about the Karen. Let's talk about the Karen.
Oh boy.
The Karen, because I think we have always had the angry black woman trope, and we just started seeing, I guess, since the racial reckoning, if you will, or the uprising. Was Karen around before 2020? Was Karen a concept before 2020? I can't remember.
Not very much. I hadn't heard of her much before then, if at all.
Yeah. So thank you, OG Patrice says. Thanks for saying that they destroyed our communities intentionally. I hear you, sis. Black Men Unfiltered, come on up. I know you got something to say. What's up? Yes, everybody's going back to the yes. This happened after the Black Panther Party destruction. The last group created by the I hear you. Went from a stronger Malcolm X. Yes. I'm getting on. Yeah, I'm a little behind. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Hit the like button, please. Bed Sty BK says son selling drugs could be because the family values stuff over integrity and honor. I hear you. Question. Peter Investor M says, which is derived more fulfillment? Okay, which will you derive more fulfillment from? I get it. Being married, having children, volunteer in the community, or both 1 and 2. And I could ask, career really should be number 4. So which would you assume, because again, none of us here have kids, right, would give you more fulfillment? Do we have to choose?
I don't feel like I would have to choose. I think, unfortunately, my direction was kind of derailed at certain points. But to me, having a good balance of these things, obviously they're not going to be equal, but having a good balance of all of that, I think would be the best. That would be my ideal picture, having a little bit of each of those things.
Yeah, I don't think we have to choose. I kind of felt a little choosy. Why? Choosy what? I don't want to choose any of that.
Well, for me, I'll say this. Since I was married for 20 years already, like been there, done that part.
Yes.
And I would say having a child and feeling what that feels like, if I could go and somehow make that happen, I would go for it.
Awesome. I think I'm excited in the same way. In my heart of hearts, I'm like, okay, God, what you doing now? Let's get you know what, you be like, okay, Lord, but you know my heart, and I'm trying to make myself findable. But I hear you. I think family is what I'm looking for. I think that is something, again, maybe I did not understand it to have the value that I understand it now. I took it for granted in a sense. Not intentionally. I don't know how to put that, but it's like, wow, that part of me is now like awakened in a different way. So I'm thinking marriage and family, volunteering in the community. I've even stepped back from some of that because I'm like, y'all ain't gonna take up my time. I'm not here trying to find a man. Why y'all in my business? I'm not trying to volunteer as much because that would take over your life. And that was a lot of me. I've been board service, all that. I've 10 plus years of like, I was writing a little bio about myself and I was like, dang, I've done a lot. But the priority would be right now for me, 1 and 2. And then, a little bit of 3, but that's not a priority. I'm looking for that. I've done that, I guess. So as opposed to the first 2, I've done the latter, the career and the volunteerism. Been there, done that. I'm looking forward to the new chapter.
Would you do 2? Would you do 2 before 1? Or no, would they have to be together?
I want to have, people have asked me this, if I would have a child on my own right now in this moment. I have the prerogative to change my mind, but right now I don't think I would have a child by myself. And that's not to knock anybody else who wants to, or who is adopted, or who just is like, I can't wait, I can't find nobody, I'm gonna do it. That's not to knock them. It's not to knock their decision. But for me, I would like, and again, anything can happen. God only you know. Marriage is not lasting like they used to, but I would prefer at least to try it in that traditional marriage sense. But if a woman wants to adopt, I can see it. I'd rather a child come out of the adoption home and being a loving parent, with a loving parent. That's how I see that. But as for me, I don't think I want it that way. But you don't know what God going to do. Help Jesus. But I think traditionally would be my prefer. Okay. TTO would say bosses attract bosses. Okay. Yes, it was 2020 when the Karen. Yeah. Okay. So back to Karen. So do you think there's an evening out of how the quote angry Black woman trope is applied now that we have a white woman trope that equally expresses? Because I feel like Karens have always existed. We knew about Karen before Karen was a Karen in mainstream culture. But it was always, white women given the benefit of innocence and femininity and protection. So do you think this is evening the playing field? I don't know what to call it, but do you think this is something now that at least brings some balance to our counterparts, as we have had to kind of endure for centuries the stereotypes, literally global understanding of Black American women the way we have? What do you think about the Karen phenomenon?
I think we got Karen and Felicia.
No.
Bye, Felicia. Oh, they love a bye, Felicia. I'm like, yikes. They invented it? No, you didn't. Okay, so let's.
Oh my gosh. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, is it evening it out? I don't know. Trish for real says yes. Hey, Trish. The Karen was always around. She wasn't named. She didn't have the benefit. Like, I think people were like, yo, this is always, but can I speak to your manager? We always knew that voice when we're like, this one girl here gonna be a problem. We don't know. Yeah, I agree with this point. Wealth Engineering says actually male bosses prefer feminine women that are totally opposite of the boss. I think they're less intimidated by feminine women, and I think women can use it almost as a tool to get where they need to go. I don't like having to. I wonder sometimes even how what's her name? Sharon. What's her name? The Facebook lady who. I can't think of her name. Who wrote Lean In? I can't think of her name.
I can't think of her name.
Is it Saunders? Cheryl Saunders? I can't remember her name. Anyway, I always wonder how she would operate at the highest levels with her male counterparts. Are they equal? Is she uber feminine? Like, even when she was talking about, having daycare at work, honey, you have Facebook, baby. You got a whole nanny at your job. Like, that's a little bit different. Yeah, I was just thinking about it. Yeah, that's a lie. I'm a boss. Bo, they pushing back Wealth Engineering. Now they say Karen is the new Becky.
Cheryl Sandberg.
Cheryl Sandberg. Goodness, I said Saunders. Sandberg. I can't remember her name for nothing. This is another thing. Can women have it all? Thank you, Wealth Engineering, Oprah. And you spelled it a little wrong, but we know what you meant. That's a Canadian spelling. I know. Yeah, so let's talk about Karen, and then let's talk about, I'd like to end on that note. Can women have it all? Because people are very big on this, and I don't know if we are being preached a lie, but okay. Ebony says, they have always been Karens, those white women who lied on Black men, but got away. Thank you for your opinion, Ebony. I see you. Y'all so funny. YouTubers gone wild with the LOL. They said, this is why do you think boss fall in love with it? Y'all on something different about femininity and working with the boss. Ooh, let's see, get a little further down. Chemo with the super chat. Thank you. I saw it. TTO is because a woman is a boss, doesn't have anything to do with them being feminine. That's BS. Read some books. Go talk to some elders. Your opinion. Yes. Okay. Let's thank you. Chemo says some Black women deal with the tensions from other Black women colleagues. Oh, wow. In the workplace, particularly when one is in management and senior. Yo, I have several women who have been
a lot of stories.
The terrible situation of when the Black woman boss friends you. And I have cousins that are dealing with this right now that might have to get out the game. And they were you ever had this happen where you're at a perfect job and then all of a sudden the energy just shifts? Because it is scary to me how much this has happened to people I know, where there's competition between Black women. I don't know if we're pitted against each other or the perception is you can only be one. So then they start to look at you and say, you're as good as I am, or you might even be better, even though I don't want your job. I've only had one Black female boss that was really like not insecure. God forgive me. This is in the law firm. She was confident in herself. She gave me leadership roles. She trusted me to have her back just as a team member. And I kept thinking, I don't want your job. I really don't want to be partner. I really don't want to be partner. I can't tell you again. I don't want to be partner here, but I'm going to look out for you and I'm going to do what's best as a kind of like a junior management. And I had one, I will say that, Black woman boss that looked out. But on several occasions, I've had ones that befriend you, try to go to brunch with you, come to your house, and then all of a sudden they hate you. All right, that's bad stereotype. That's a bad stereotype. All right, who has experienced this, Sandy? Thank you, Chemo, for bringing this up.
I've definitely seen the situation one too many times. Personally, I've had it directly happen to me multiple times. And the
Oof.
sad part is I was looking to this person as some sort of like a mentor, a hope to, teach me, educate me, bring me into the fold of sorts. And I recognized early on that it was like I was seen as competition. I was seen
Mhm.
as a threat. I was seen as all these things. And it was because it's like, the idea is that there can only be one of us in whatever position. And I'm
Yeah.
just thinking to myself, I'm like, but I don't want your position. In actuality, I would want you to get the position so that I could be next in line. So
Yes.
you can mold me and give me some, but it's like the mentality is so twisted. And
Trying
I'm
to
like,
take you out.
ma'am, I'm not
That's
your
a
competition. We
whole.
should be teaming up to make sure we get more of us in the fold. But
Nope. They mad. How
oh,
about you, Lisa? Have you experienced this?
Oh my God, have I? Yes, I have seen that. And, it's just like some people who look like us appreciate being the only one.
My
They
God.
yeah.
don't want anyone else around that looks like them. And they are
Mm-mm.
totally comfortable with that. If they drop dead today or tomorrow and not another person behind them that was trained that looked like them,
Yes.
that's the legacy they're setting up. And people
Yes.
like that, they really, really bug me. And I have run into Black female attorneys like that. When they see another Black female attorney come into the room and they thought they were the only one, it pisses them off. And they just
Yes.
have a problem that they're going to have to live with or get over.
Yeah, this is a real issue. I've had people. I have a friend recently had to leave a job and relocate a city because she literally had a perfect job, in higher ed, and her boss was picking on her essentially and trying to make her look bad, throw her under the bus, et cetera, et cetera. And was like, how long you gonna endure this for your mental health? I have another cousin works in a big firm in the Carolinas, and it is a challenge for her now. She had a tension headache for like a week. And I thought, boo, anybody that's giving you a tension headache for a week, it ain't worth it. I don't care how much the check is. And it's sad because she was thinking, we were all thinking, oh, you're going to retire there. You're going to have it all. Your beautiful life plan gets uprooted by someone's insecurity and selfishness and literally desire to see you taken out, which is, again, I think
Crazy.
comes from historical tropes and stereotypes. Again, you are special and different. If there's more than one of you, there's competition. And I've had even my cousin works in the art space in New York. Like years ago, she would talk about how she was like really well groomed, really well coiffed. And there was like a Black woman who was there who was like kind of disheveled and you could tell was going through hard times, bad luck, whatever. And she was like, they would mix me up for her all the time, which she was so offended because like I take pride in my look. I take pride in my, my presentation. I go above and beyond. And this woman, poor thing, whatever she was going through, they would be, it was almost like they didn't see no difference. Or was it purpose? I don't know. She was always so offended by, I think it was like an art studio that was running, and she and this lady worked in that studio. But it was very interesting. I was like, I wonder why. And I don't know if there are perceived differences or they don't even care where she worked anyway in that specific instance. But it was terrible. But yeah, I've seen it. So often where it's like a
Sad.
competitive.
Sad.
Yeah, I hear it.
Really
Thank
sad.
you for the Cheryl Somber. We were late. I'm sorry. Yeah, wealth engineer. Here we go. Intimidation. We just want peace of mind and prefer the feminine one. What y'all arguing in the chat? Y'all. They said, don't let me talk about showing up to interview with a smart Black woman. Yeah, it depends. And ladies, I've had this conversation with some, and I don't know that I'm 100% at agreement, but I've had women say that, especially within the older generation of women, say our boomer sisters, there's not a lot of transferal going on, like space being made. And again, it might not just be among Black women. It could be just in general across the country. Do you guys see that? Is that happening for you? Do you have mentors that are boomers or folks that have opened their arms to you to really give you game? Or are you kind of on your own? Do you guys have that? I've had actually boomers hate on me, honestly. So I don't know. Let me get your opinion. Is that something that you've witnessed or felt?
My mentors, I would say to me right now, it's kind of like a peer-to-peer mentoring for us.
Yes.
So Lisa, for example, is somebody that, we kind of, discuss different things with each other and kind of work through problems together. My business partner in my law firm, I have another young lady that, we co-authored a book together. We have been going together for many years, helping each other with the legal work. And we just try to figure it out amongst ourselves because we're finding so many issues the level above us. And it's just like we're on our own. We have to figure it
Okay, I
out
thought it was
ourselves and
me.
kind of work through it.
I thought it
Yeah.
was me. Lisa, how about you? Have you had that experience? Do you have a mentor that's a boomer? Actually, my mentors who are boomers are men. The men who I
Yes,
get the most help for, people I get the most help for who are boomers are men. They look out.
that's true.
They bring business. I've had some good male mentorship. I can't say the same for ladies. I don't know why. You had that experience too, Lisa?
I've had good mentorship in women and men. So I've had both, and I thank God for that. Just building those relationships, but they can be tough. They can be tough to come by, but I guess I've been fortunate in that sense. They've come from multiple directions.
You good, girl, because I'll be waiting on him.
Suzette, I just have to say that Sandy and I have a show that starts at 6 o'clock.
Oh, we gonna go. Okay, you guys have a show, y'all. I've enjoyed. I know there's so much more we can talk about, but you ladies have been phenomenal. So make sure, and I hope you guys, if you enjoyed the conversation, put a 1 in the chat. If this is the type of stuff you want me to cover, put a 1 in the chat. I hear you. I see so many other questions, but thank you all who have sent super chats. I see you, Miss AKA ladies. You talking about late? It's okay, girl. Go back and watch it. I know you would have been chiming in if you was here. So I'm glad to see you, sis. I know everybody's working at different. Yeah, the Lean In book. I forgot about that. Yeah, it was a great read. Absolutely. I'm just going to read some final comments. Let the ladies make their final comments and give them some time to go eat. And for us to go over to their channel, please drop their channel. Yes, Simon, fear and insecurity make people act crazy. Absolutely. No matter what the race, no matter people who are dealing or live in fear and insecurity. Yeah, we got to be very careful of that. Oh, Miss AKA lady with the super chat came in a little later, but I know you're going to enjoy it. Thank you. No comment, just love. Also a fantastic Patreon member supporting my content. Appreciate y'all. We got to wrap up, y'all. They got a show at 6. They trying to say, Sue, I got to go eat and go take care of me on my. I hear you. Thank you. Know yourself, says Simon. Amen. Amen. I hear you on that. The panel is now closed. Y'all didn't want to come up and chit chat. Okay. I usually get a lot of y'all like the subject matter. I appreciate you, Miss AKA Lady RM.
The attorney effect.
Chemo, yeah, salute to the wonderful women on the panel today. The one who appeared to be feminine. I love you, Chemo. Thank you. I appreciate the negative context of this. Oh Lord. Chemo, I wasn't trying to be negative, but I just thought it was funny the way you said it. Talking about a negative context translation of my chat comments by counselors.
Thank you, Chemo.
I'm just pulling your leg, but I did kind of feel some type of way that we appeared. You wrote it. I'm just reading it. Thank you. Thank you so much. YouTubers on Wild says, great comment. Enjoy your guest. I see one more chat. I thank you. Did I skip one? I appreciate you. Y'all can spam the comments. I'm going to let these ladies go one more time for my panelists. Y'all give them so much love. Once again, co-host of LearnBiz, the podcast. They're going live at 6. We're going to go over there. We're going to chat them. We're going to see what they talking about over there. But Lisa K Crawford, Miss Sandy Boisrond, I hope I'm saying it right. And appreciate y'all. Y'all go ahead and please subscribe to their channel. Ladies, it's been a blast. I'm going to stay on just a quick second to say goodbyes. Love you. You're welcome.
You too. Thank you, Suzette. We have one of these for you too.
Oh, thank you. Okay. The LearnBiz official mug. Okay. Thank you to both of you. It has been a blast, ladies. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you guys very soon. And good luck with your channel. All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all so very much. We're going to subscribe. If y'all ain't subscribed yet, please go and subscribe to my sisters. Y'all, I've enjoyed this thoroughly, dispelling some of the stereotypes of my sisters. I'm going to, like I said, be over at their channel at 6. Thank you. There's so many. I'm looking at Ebony's super chat was a 1. Ebony, I don't see it. I want to put it on my screen. Thank you, Ebony. Appreciate that super chat. I'm seeing it. Trying to find it real quick. I'm behind on the comments as usual. The ladies were rock stars. The ladies were open. The ladies were honest and keeping it real when it comes to all of these different stereotypes, unfortunately, that many of us as professional Black women are told all the time, but that's not how we feel all the time. So, and that's not how we think. That's what we were doing this show for, to let y'all know there's a whole different way of thinking and being that is not often reflected in pop culture and the media and on social media. There you go. Look at it. Thank you, Ebony. Appreciate the love. Putting a 1 in the chat to let me know she likes this type of content, this type of topic. I said I'm going to do some Black-centered topics for Black History Month. We could do it anytime actually we feel like it, because we Black 365. So, but thank you, Ebony, on the super chat. Thank you so much. Showing love and always being an active part of the conversations here. I appreciate you, sis. And thank you for supporting my content and my channel. I see you, Mika, with the 1. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of y'all. Whoever ever contributed, shared, please know that from the bottom of my heart, my moderators, thank you. All of you who helped make this and shared this. I'm always trying to adjust this lighting, see what's going on, because I want to be bright, but I don't want to be too bright. Does that look better? It's all good. But I want to thank you, all of you, and especially to my show sponsor, the special guests. Again, LearnBiz the podcast. We've dropped their link in the chat. It's also in the description. I'm also going to put on Sandy, her Spectrum Law firm. I'm going to put it, especially if you're in Florida. These ladies do real estate. These ladies do all kinds of stuff, but their entrepreneurial coaching is not just for Florida, right? So they help people in business to strengthen their business and also put in processes in place. That's what they're really, really good at, and find loans, find grants. They do a lot of things through their LearnBiz platform. So one of the things they do on YouTube, as they stated, is they interview Black entrepreneurs to try to help you learn the game, understand what are, good practices and bad practices, the do's and don'ts, the growing pains. And they've had some very interesting conversations. Actually, I saw Dr. Tasha. Y'all remember Dr. Tasha? She was interviewed over there, and some other people I know. They're doing a fantastic job to educate people in business. So go over and support their podcast/YouTube channel. So it's been a pleasure, y'all. Thank y'all. Y'all see the Cash App. If you want to give a gift, please feel free. As many of you already have. First of all, the sponsor of today's show, let me give a big shout out to not only, today, but all the time, holding up this channel, supporting this channel and my content as a Patreon member, as well as the sponsor for today. Big up, Jonathan Barronville. Rah, 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 rah. Always giving. Appreciate you being here and for your generous donation. Thank you very much. For those of you guys who don't know, before I sign off, I do have a Patreon. We had a fantastic guest. You see him already in the chat. Mr. Wealth Engineering did a one-on-one with me this past Saturday. And again, Patreon is different content not available here on YouTube. Next month, we're going to have Dr. Thunder be our special guest. And I also offer sometimes some behind the scenes, depending if I'm out and about in Miami or whatnot. But go to patreon.com/SuzetteSpeaks. I think you guys will enjoy the depth of conversation. Again, we're trying to help you in a personal development arena, right? To grow. Right? To gain some emotional intelligence, knowledge of self, the self-awareness piece that we think about when we're talking about relationships and we're talking about, in the workplace, stereotypes or whatever. It comes with your own self-awareness, right? How you are addressing the issues of life, the things that have happened to you, the ways in which, you've been injured, traumatized, all that. We get into that. And we also try to help you become enlightened as we build one another up. So go visit the Patreon. Thank you. I think we're almost at 20 people. Thank God. Thank you guys for stepping out there and believing in what I'm doing. Again, we're going to do a little bit more current events. Thursday, 2:00. We're going to be talking with Officer Nathan Daly. The real Nathan Daly will be my guest. We're going to be discussing the Amir Lock case, if you guys don't know what that is. And of course, Saturday at 12 noon, we'll be back at it again. So if you don't know, my schedule, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturday are my lives, and I'm going to be doing some snippets and some clips in between. But again, thank you to all my Patreon members. Thank you to all those who contributed with Super Chats today. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all holding me down. Continue to help me grow this channel and hopefully move forward in my YouTube dreams. Being on this platform, like for real. It's been a pleasure. Let me see if I have final comments. Let me go through them real quick. Yay. Oh, Kareem says she wants that part 2. Okay. Glad that you enjoyed it. Glad. Thank you, sis. Stay strong, ladies, says TTOO, and don't break for no weak man. Okay, your comments. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bedside BK, enjoyed your guest so much. Wonderful. Thank you for watching. Wealth engineering still in the comments. Partnering with bosses is different from marrying one, my guy. Okay, wish you luck in your ventures. Keep building your empire with or without your black women bosses. Respect. Wealth engineering hitting them in the gut. Okay. Love your topics. Thank you. YouTubers gone wild, especially my friend Chemo. Love you too. I know he's like, really? You gonna do me like that? No, he's trying. I don't think he's disrespectful. I don't think he means it that way. I think he's very direct in how he communicates for sure. Yes, I think we might have to have a part 2 because y'all seem to enjoy this type of topic. Yeah, we do it for the men. Black men speak on leadership. Go back and watch it. We do it for the ladies today. But yeah, we have Nathan Daly Thursday, 2 p.m. talking about the Amir Locke case. Y'all hit the like button as you go out. Thank you, Peter, Investor M. Appreciate you. Sun Breeze. Yes, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Your comments, thoughts, and questions were awesome. Yes, you've lit the panel on fire. Thank you, Sun Breeze. Appreciate you being here. Great stream, says Chalise. Ransom, thank you for being here and for being a part. All y'all ninja watching, appreciate y'all too. Thank you for the enjoyment of the content. Thank you, Jets Nitram. Thank you. Yes, we Black 365. Wagwan Simon. Thank you, Doug. Yes, I was poking fun a little bit, but this was a good stream as usual. Thank you, Doug. I appreciate you. I know you always listening. You're working and you're also contributing while you do that. So thank you so much for the super chat, showing love. Also a fantastic Patreon member. Happy belated Valentine's Day, Doug. I just saw the message. Happy belated Valentine's Day. Thank you for sending those warm wishes. Appreciate you. TTO still on it. Black women be strong. Black Panthers were also about strong Black women. Don't believe anything about Black women not needing to be strong leaders and bosses. I hear you. All right, we cooking. Y'all apparently enjoyed this stream. Thank you, RM. All right, I'm going to get something to eat. Go watch my ladies on the LearnBiz. Stereo audio is used to create more of a surround sound. So okay, times ago surround. Okay, all right. I don't know who you're responding to, but I appreciate you being here. Easy gospel piano lessons always there in the chat, supporting. Appreciate y'all. All right, so you can hit me with show ideas if you have any. Hit me up on Instagram. Thank you again for watching. Appreciate all y'all who gave. You can become a member of the Patreon. And we out here just trying to build the Black community, build lives, regardless of color and race, and hopefully, we become better people in the process. So I appreciate you for watching. Appreciate you, Doug. Thank you. The Miss Creative. Hey, darling, you have to go back and watch. I don't know how much of it you caught, but I hope you enjoyed today's stream. Was really good. All right, y'all, signing off. 91 get to 100, please. Let's get it to 100. Hit the like button on your way in or out. Hit the like button. We can get to 100. That's normal for us now. Please. Let's do our thing. But lots of love to you, RM. Thank you. Fantastic job. Always busy in these comments. Sunbreeze, same with you. Thank you so much, y'all. Helped me so much. Appreciate y'all. But y'all, I'm gonna go eat, and it's been a fun stream. Glad you enjoyed it, and I'll see you Thursday at 2. Y'all be well. Okay, take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time.